So I'd instead wish the Canadians a happy Thanksgiving because it's Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yay!
Yay!
I've been keeping an eye out for turkeys. Don't want to be sure I pass up a chance to get a big old turkey.
No, I don't know. Like I said.
I told my story about how we had to get a new stove, so we wanted to test run a turkey before Thanksgiving. And it's just been... stores haven't gotten their turkeys in yet.
Well, yeah, I would... Well, really?
Yeah.
I would think there got to be some around just in general for people who might just want to buy a turkey and make one.
But they have not they've not come out en masse yet.
Okay. That's fair. I mean,
you see the super huge one, but I'm kind of looking for like smaller, like a 12, 14 pounds, something I could do like a turkey test run.
Well, maybe you should have called the Butterball hotline.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. That was one of the long ago in the far away when we had this other show called News of the Squared.
Well, that's the
was the Butterball hotline.
There's an episode of West Wing where they're talking about Thanksgiving, and he's talking about certain things about how to prepare for Thanksgiving, and somebody tells Martin Sheen that there's a Butterball hotline, so he makes him call it. And he's talking to them, and they're like, no, I get that all the time that I sound like the president. Let's keep talking about turkey. So it's one of the, there's a reason why that show, like, people revere that show. It's a good show, for a reason, Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I watched it through the first time and I've seen a few of the episodes. I just never feel the need to go back on HBO Max and go watch, like, the old episodes sometimes, like in full. But, it is one of the better shows that's, been created. And, it's just a reminder that I really wish Aaron Sorkin would create some new TV for a while, which he's not doing anymore. So it seems like he's just sticking to movies these days. So.
Well, the more digestible style content for these times we're living in?
I guess. I think he's just got... I don't know. I think it just got to the point where, he's getting paid more money to do movies now, he did the, the Facebook movie he wrote. That was his. Which did really, really well.
Just a while ago, though.
Yeah, but he's done movies since then. Like, what's the one? Molly's Game, which was really good. With Jessica Chastain, which I don't understand why that didn't get nominations at the time. It was based off the true life story of a past Olympian who went on to, like, run, a woman who went on to run, like, the most exclusive card game in, like, I can't remember if it was New York or Hollywood, and got caught up on it. There was that, and then was it last year? Last year was the trial of Chicago 7, right?
Yeah, that came out recently.
Right, last year. So
was it earlier this year or late last year?
Right, so that too was Aaron Sorkin. That's Aaron Sorkin too.
Okay.
So, no, he's had movies coming out more recently, and then also him and what's his name? Oh God. Is it John? Who's the guy who was on? Was it William Hurt? Who was on
that network show?
Not network. It was that HBO show that I can't remember. Newsroom,
yeah. I want to say network, but Newsroom, yeah.
Oh, it was Daniels.
Jeff Daniels.
Was it Jeff Daniels? Okay, so Jeff Daniels. He got together with Jeff Daniels again, and they did a revival on Broadway of To Kill a Mockingbird that is actually going to be on a national tour that's coming into Chicago, which I'm probably going to end up going to see now that things are starting to get live again. Although it's funny because Jeff Daniels isn't coming in, and I can't remember who it is, which is kind of the part where I'm like, I'm like.
You took the best part of that show away from me.
Right. Well, it's like, okay, fine. You're gonna bring somebody else in, and I can't remember who it is. And it was funny because my mom was like, oh, no, he's good. I'm like, but it's not Jeff Daniels.
It's not Jeff Daniels. Replace him with Gilbert Gottfried. That'll create the same effect.
It's not that bad.
Why did he call it O. Henry?
Yeah.
Well, no, that does not provide the same effect.
No, not the same effect. I can't remember who they're bringing in for it now, but yeah. So no, I know he started to do some Broadway stuff too. It's just, I think he just got tired of, like networks being involved in what they wanted and how they wanted, and he gets more control on the movies and stuff. So, that's my guess. Between the movies and Broadway, he gets a little bit more control than he does on TV shows, and that's unfortunate. It really is, because that guy knows how to make good TV. So, but it is what it is. So. But yeah, no, like I said, I guess, welcome to the Spurs Roundtable podcast. We've been doing this show. This is episode 168.
Yes. Good guess.
I got it. I never really remember. And, my name is Jeff Stein. With me is Mike Boyle.
Yo.
Somewhere our intern and Mike Edwarden is scurrying around looking for another job. And, Ivan Rivera is not here this evening. I don't know if he's got something going on.
He didn't text me. He didn't text me yet today, but he did put a post on his Facebook saying that he had like a head cold. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, he said he wasn't feeling well. So I
don't know if he's going to be in today or not.
Right. I assume we might not see him today. So
he might be resting.
That's fair. I mean, hey, look. I'm just glad because I don't know if you caught what was anything I posted, but Clubhouse did an update, and I figured out what was going on when we did that. We did our last show. Remember, at one point I was like, "Hey, I don't have a microphone anymore."
Yeah,
so apparently
we hit some kind of glitch in the middle of the show last week.
Right. So apparently they did not figure out how to do this clip thing right, so that on smaller screens like the one I have I have like an iPhone SE, and unless you disabled clips, you lost the microphone. And all week I couldn't do anything, and they finally fixed the problem like Friday, and I'm like, oh, thank God. But like I couldn't be like I couldn't do like a stage on Clubhouse like all week, so it was kind of annoying. But glad it's fixed.
Yay.
If we ever have anything worthwhile, we can hit the clip button for the 30 seconds, and we can put that on. We can put it on Instagram, and we can put it on the Twitter, and people can listen to what we had to say about things. So, but yeah. So, Mike, so you're looking to do a turkey.
Yeah, I want to just do a trial run before Thanksgiving because we got a new stove over the summer, and we've had other things we've cooked and baked, and it seems like it's, operating within normal parameters. But I just we wanted to test it, and then with the supply problems we've been having the last few months that seem to have gotten worse, I was like, find a turkey, and we're going to freeze it and store it because now we're getting closer. We're less than 7 weeks till Thanksgiving already.
Yeah, I can't imagine there'll be a problem with finding turkeys for Thanksgiving, but stranger things can have happened. I mean,
2 years ago, you said stock up on toilet paper. I'd be like, what?
Yep, just got a message from Ivan. He's down for the count in bed. He will see us next week. So there you go.
Okay.
So no Ivan this week. But that's fine. So yeah, no, like I said, so turkey. So when you're preparing your turkey, what do you kind of do? I mean, we're kind of early on this subject, but
no, you get the you put it in the pan.
No, I don't know what the whatchamacallit is.
Yeah, you put it in the pan.
Well, but like, okay, so
you get the stock and you soak it.
Okay, so you get stock and you.
Yeah, we don't fry it. I don't use the deep fryer. It's just in the oven and cooks, and most of the time it has the lid on it. Sometimes it doesn't. Towards the end.
Now, do you put the stuffing inside or no?
No, we cook the stuffing separately.
Okay.
Well, we just keep the gizzards and all that stuff, like all the organs. Like like the liver and the neck and all that. We just keep that in there. And of course, it never appealed to me. That was the thing my dad did. Like food, we still prepared like because Dad liked it.
Yeah, you made all this food. Where someone's gonna eat it, it's gonna be one of us.
It's gonna the liver and the gizzard and the neck and like no thanks.
No thanks. No thanks. I guess I was just listening in tonight, which is cool. Thanks for joining us, bud. Like I said, because like what they tell you, like sometimes what to put like butter on it, right? I've heard, or no?
You just keep it marinated, or you keep the gravy with the whatever it sits in, the liquid that it sits in, the the fluids, the moisture that sits at the bottom of the pan. That we make that becomes the gravy that we use.
Now, do you do like aromatics with that? Do you do like
like candles? What do you mean by aromatics?
like putting in like garlic or
not much.
Like
we don't get too crazy.
All that kind of stuff,
no, we don't put like vegetables or
like that.
No, we don't do anything crazy like
that.
Oh,
really?
No.
Okay.
No, and the stuffing we cook separately.
Okay.
We don't put that in the bird. Mm-hmm. I think we used to years ago, but not anymore.
Did I ever so my best Thanksgiving story is, so we're at my aunt's place and she had these little cornbread muffins, and like
they were KFC, right?
Oh yeah, did I tell you?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I'm never sure who I've told this story to or not. Yeah, the KFC muffins. Yeah, swear to God. You know what the funny part is? KFC doesn't have them anymore.
No, they don't. They have the regular biscuits, but they don't have the corn muffins anymore.
Yeah, and it's funny because that would be such a. I don't know why they got rid of them. I'm surprised it didn't go over better because it's like. Cornbread muffin. That's perfect. I don't want no
secret ingredient to cornbread muffins? Put a bit of honey in there.
That'd be good.
Oh, yeah. I like cornbread. When my sister had her stroke 20 years ago, and we were at the University of Chicago Hospital, that cafeteria in that hospital had the best cornbread I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
Like, wow.
No, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think where the best, maybe where I would ever gotten the best cornbread. It's hard to say. I mean, there've been so many, if you get down south, and the thing is too, it kind of depends on we're talking about regular
and cabbage, and corned beef and collard greens.
Well, you get your sweet cornbreads, and then you get your like regular cornbreads, and some people make them a little bit more mushy. Some people make it a little bit more, some people make it more like a muffin. Some people, it's the traditional cornbread squares and
stuff. Or
a
pan, right. You put them in a pan.
Right, all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's like, I hate to say it. If you got cornbread, it's hard for me to get mad at you if you've got cornbread muffins sitting in my face, unless you've horribly screwed it up somehow.
And when they're fresh out of the oven, you cut them in half, and you get that sliced dip a bit of butter, and it just melts like instantly.
Oh man, yeah, no, absolutely. I'm with you.
Happy Thanksgiving, Canada. Can I come over for dinner?
Yes, seriously. I was like, how do we get on this? Oh, Canada, that's right, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
I wonder if they use like maple syrup on on a turkey.
Do they watch hockey like how we watch football on Thanksgiving?
You would think so, wouldn't you? They should do that. You would think they'd do that. You'd have like a big hockey game for Canadian Thanksgiving or something like that, and like Bryan Adams would sing the national anthem, and Pam Anderson would be out there to drop the first puck or some shit like that.
Yeah, or Celine Dion.
Yeah, is Celine Dion? Yeah, I think she is.
I think she's still in Vegas. I think she's still doing Vegas.
But she is from Canada, right? Yeah, French Canada. Wow.
She can represent. Really... She can represent the French Canadians.
Oh, that's an entirely different animal. Those people, some of those people, it's like, we are not from Canada. We are our own thing.
What if there was a civil war between the French Canadians and the regular Canadians?
I don't know. They would give up, right? What? Why?
What's that line from Groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons? Saying, bonjour, ya cheese meat and surrender the monkeys.
Is that what he said? Okay. No, I mean, Yeah, that's a little,
I always ask you what did this week. I think I'll go first this week and get out of the way. I was going to watch some of the DC animated shows this week, but I've just been caught up playing. I started my first replay of Mass Effect 3. And
God, you're still playing that thing?
Yeah, I've finished 3 complete playthroughs of Mass Effect 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. So now I've begun my first playthrough of Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
But damn, this game is good. I have missed this game so much. It was now there are great things about Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 2 being arguably the best one, but there's some awesome shit in Mass Effect 3, and I'm loving it. I'm having fun.
Now
is
this a console game or is this a?
It's both for PC Master Race and console, but mine's on PS4.
Okay.
They re-released those legend.
Do you have to go online to play other people or to go to their online thing?
This is all single player RPG.
Oh, okay.
But there's no multiplayer in this. There was multiplayer in the original Mass Effect 3, but that's gone.
Okay.
So I'm loving that. So I've kind of showed from my usual TV stuff. I did watch this last week's Lower Decks, and man, that's still funny. I'm still enjoying that very much.
That's good.
And this one was good because the show centers around these 4 crew members on the lower decks of this unexceptional starship. So they kind of jump around where they do.
Isn't that most ships in Star Trek?
No, because usually it's all the bridge crew. It always focuses on the bridge crew. But this show focuses on the 4, nobodies, the ensigns, where they sleep in a hallway, pretty much. But this last one, they showed the lower decks of a Vulcan ship and a Klingon ship, and this is funniest stuff. All the meta stuff that we veteran Star Trek fans enjoy. So this one was really good, and like I said, I think I might have mentioned about the end of season 1, where the galactic threat is now the Packleds, which is these Packleds. I think they had a few appearances in TNG as pretty much these dummies, that don't know any better, but they've been given this massive technology, and in the remnants or the aftermath of the Dominion War, they've acquired all this technology and weapons. They become a threat now, even though they're stupid, pretty much, which makes them funny. So like I said, I'm digging Lower Decks. I guess season 4 Discovery is coming soon. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know.
The Michael Burnham show?
Yeah, the Michael Burnham show. The Burnham show. The Burnham show. I don't know. I'm gonna get.
Nothing happens on that show unless Michael Burnham does it.
Yeah, it's gotten kind of out of hand with that. But I hope Saru comes back soon. I won't be watching on a week by week basis for that. I'm waiting for Strange New Worlds, the Captain Pike show. That I'm looking.
I think you're gonna be waiting for a while.
I'll be waiting. That's early next year, I think. I think it's after.
There's an animated too, right?
There's this show Prodigy. It's kind of animated. Kind of looks like a phone game.
It looks good.
It looks interesting. I'll keep an eye on it, but I don't know if I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, honestly, that's I gotta say that's the one place where, I think that's the one place where they've made such a tactical error over the decades, which was they should have been doing cartoons.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think they're about a decade or two short, but they always stuck to first of all we had the movies with the original crew. Then they passed the torch on to TNG. Remind me to get back to TNG later. But then we've always had this weekly series where with an animated show, you can do so much more because there's no budget on to make these physical sets and all the special effects and the makeup and all that. I think Star Trek missed its mark decades ago without not making an animated series where you could do so much more and tell so much more grandiose stories and not have to worry about a live action budget. But Stranger Worlds is coming, and Lower Decks is almost done, I think, for season 2, and then I'm going to cancel my subscription to Paramount Plus for a while. Because that's like must-see TV for me. Like right when I come home from work on Thursday, I go right to Paramount. What else? Got to the flea market. I guess our local flea market. Last week was our last week.
Did they have real fleas?
No, there were no fleas for sale. Not that I could see.
Damn it.
Because they're too small, It's like, hey, you're looking at the ground when you walk in. Oh, I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's fleas. So
they're just itching to get you out of there.
Yeah, I did get joke. I did get a jar of jalapeno pickles.
Wow.
I almost had a sentiment. Like that was like something my dad loved. So he got me hooked on them. And my neighbor used to grow pickles in his yard, and he'd put them in the jars, and he'd put some jalapenos in it, and let them sit for a whole summer. So then a couple months later,
are we talking like dill pickles?
Yeah, regular pickles. Yeah, you put them in the jar with an jalapeno or two, and then when they come out, they're nice and tasty, nice and hot. So I got that just for sentimental reasons, but I still love them. Something my dad rubbed off on me. And what else? We'll get into what if later on.
That's strange.
Hot pickles?
Yeah.
Well, what do you like to eat that's spicy?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about it like a kosher pickle, and it's like that's not. Have you met Jews? They're not exactly big on the hot.
They're not big on spicy food.
It's like, oh, this is hot. What are you doing?
I'm getting verklempt. Ivan, he is healed.
Oy.
Well, I'm just out of bed here, and
welcome.
I was listening to the program. I was listening to you guys do your groovy thing. I just wanted to drop in and make my presence be known. Sorry that I'm in such poor shape today, but as far as pickles are concerned, what they do, especially if you go down to the Italian market, like on Taylor Street in Chicago, and they got these big barrels of these huge pickles that they have sitting in all manner of like habanero and really spicy pickles, But I mean, these things are like, these are monsters. They're huge. So it's not like you can kind of like pop one in your mouth. You have to kind of slice them down and.
That's what she said.
Oh,
and enjoy them. But
they're so big and thick and a lot of girth to them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of girth to that pickle. A lot of girth,
and they're hot.
And juicy.
That's a hot gherkin for you. Ooh, excuse me.
Oh, we know what? Oh, I don't know. Now, don't stuff too many.
Yeah.
No. I see, you would think that being a Hispanic man, I would like really spicy food, but in essence, I like things that are more flavorful than spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I don't mean bad. Yeah, that way. I mean, I'm with you in the fact that it's like there has been a trend in the last like 20, 30 years of everything's got to have a little bam, a little pow, like that emerald crap, where everything's got to have some spicy to it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's like everybody's like, oh, it's got to have a kick. Like,
and you see these challenges. It reminded me of a Facebook post of a friend of mine. He and his son had these hot gummy bears. They're gummy bears, but they're like super duper spicy. And you saw them. They're like their faces are turning red. And they're like. It's like that doesn't look like you're having fun eating them.
No,
we're gonna get like a million views on YouTube and then I get paid.
Right.
I'm not doing that shit.
No, because what goes in hot is gonna come out to kill you.
Woo!
Yeah. So it's.
You pay for it the next day. That's for sure.
No, sometimes not the next day.
Same thing with when I make the jalapeno poppers. Yeah. When I make the jalapeno poppers, the next day.
Wait, I like the poppers. See, now that's got just enough there to talk.
Yeah, same with jalapenos, but I don't do like anything more like habaneros or ghost pepper or any of that. No, I don't do any of that.
Well, no. I mean, because Chipotle is probably the hottest pepper ever. A lot of people they tend to make fun because Chipotles are these are the real tiny little peppers. And motherfuckers are nasty, man. You get one in your mouth, you're gonna hurt.
It doesn't seem fun to me, unless you're like a manly man activity, sing.
Hey, like a drunken man's folly, yeah.
It's so funny you say about Chipotle. So they opened a Chipotle by the house, and they have I'm like, oh, they have a drive-thru. That's pretty cool. I'm like, all right, that's pretty neat. So I drive up to the window, and they're like, did you already place an order? I'm like, why would I have already placed an order? I'm here for the drive-thru. They're like, oh, no, this is not a drive-thru window. This is if you ordered online
pickup drive-thru.
You can pick up for advance in the drive-thru.
That seems to...
I'm like, what the...
That seems to be a trend now with
why would
a lot of people with their businesses now. Yeah, it's you get all of these perks on your phone, through your apps and whatever. If you order in advance,
you get a point system. I know. I heard Taco Bell has a point system.
Yeah, McDonald's has one too. But it's not even that. It's just we're talking about...
This is a restaurant with a drive-through lane. I'm presuming it's just
ordering in the drive-thru. Why would you not want to order from the drive-through lane?
Right,
you'd think. You'd assume.
I was so funny because I'm looking at them going, should I... okay, should I, sit here and go on the app and order and wait for you to make it now? And they're no, you need to, it was funny because there was, nobody else in the lane anyway. It's no one's gonna... It's we live in the northwest. We live in the North Shore of Chicago. How many fucking people do you really think are gonna use the to-go online order lane?
All the young people are doing it, Jeff. All the kids these days.
It's the rage now with the new apps and everything like that.
Yeah, in Jeff's community, in Jeff's neck of the woods.
Right, we're not talking about. We're not if you told me it was in Evanston near Northwestern, okay, fair. Or if you were near DePaul, okay, sure, this makes sense. If you were near one of the big universities here in town, sure, okay, that's fair. We're talking about Morton fucking Grove.
So you're saying you're surrounded by old people?
Well, there's a lot of old people around here. I don't know shit about that shit.
a lot more of my age people out there in that area at Morton Grove.
And you got a lot of these people wait, online? What is this online shit? What are you talking about? I just want to order a fucking...
want an enchilada.
What's this much sugar in a thing you got me doing here? All I want is a freaking burrito.
I just, like I said, it was just one of those where
So you drove away in shame?
I drove away. It was funny because she looks at me.
Drove away in shame?
She's like, it's funny you say that because she's like, you're not the first person to make that assumption. I'm like, I won't be the last either.
Well, I mean, is the sign, when you look at it now, is there a sign that's clearly stated saying this does online pickup only?
No, nothing.
Well, that's kind of stupid. It was a drive-thru lane. That's kind of stupid if you don't designate it.
You'll have to build a sign then, otherwise you're going to get more people like you doing that.
As it is, I kind of laugh. It's so funny because I was like, oh, I have to actually go into Chipotle. I could actually just order right here. Oh, okay, fuck. Well, I'm not going in there. Fuck this shit. Bye.
Oh my gosh!
Especially when Raising Cane's and Starbucks is in the same thing and enable that drive-thrus, and it's okay, bye. Yeah, I don't know.
Raising Cane.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't here last week when we talked about Raising Cane because they have chicken fingers. And you know what else they have?
Oh yeah, my daughter's always talking about that.
You know
I've had those. What?
They have, Ivan? Chicken fingers.
Chicken fingers.
You know what else they have? Chicken
what?
fingers.
Yeah, and that's all they got.
And yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, they have Texas toast. They have coleslaw. They have fries, and you can get chicken fingers on a bun. Other than that, that's it. And drinks. That's it.
Well,
otherwise,
they kind of, we got a few shops in the city back in the day that used to just feature just a handful of items. Okay,
we're not talking about a handful of items. We're talking one item. There's one
item done multiple ways.
There's not even multiple ways. There's only okay. The other way is I put chicken fingers on a bun. Everything else is chicken fingers. There's no salad. We're not talking about salad with chicken fingers. There's no salad with chicken fingers. They don't even salad. They don't have a dessert. It's like, oh, I would like dessert. They don't have dessert.
Chicken fingers, Texas toast, and coleslaw fries. That's it.
That's it.
Oh boy, that's
and drinks.
Yeah, my daughter swears by them, but
no,
I ate them once and I failed to see the allure. But
it's not great. But it is funny because like some days, like there are days literally where it's like I'm driving by, it's like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I swear to God, there's like a line, like out the parking lot and into the bigger parking lot of like the shopping mall, like waiting for people to like get orders for Raisin Cane's.
That's wild.
What's weird is like lunchtime, like regular lunchtime, like during the middle of the day, fucking empty.
Not on the weekends though.
I don't know. Like I said, like sometimes it's like at times where I'm like it should be empty. It shouldn't be empty. They're empty. At times where I'm like it should. It is. There's probably nobody here. Oh my God, this place is like packed. I don't know. It's weird. So yeah,
Mike, tell them about them chicken fingers.
So Mike, what else you got this week? So you've been playing Mass Effect, trying to find a turkey, and you had jalapeno pickles.
And I'm still loving Lower Decks.
Okay.
I watched the Dave Chappelle Netflix special. The last one that came out, the closer. I guess that's the last one in his contract to fulfill his
commitments.
Yeah, commitment to Netflix. So he says this is my last one for a while, and he says, "What was it? That's why I did it in Detroit because I've been shitting on Detroit for a while. So you guys deserve it." But yeah, he there were some funny parts in it, but a lot of the shit got real. You know, he's a storyteller. He's a craftsman in that regard. But it's mostly
gets away with a lot of shit.
He does. Oh, there's some nasty shit in there.
I mean, he said some stuff. I haven't seen it yet, but like some people were real upset about shit this time.
Yeah, he's trying to create a truce here with the LGBTQ and the trans community, trying to cancel him, and he's made his points, you know. And he's told some good stories in it, so it's only like an hour and 10 minutes. So if you get time, I suggest just pop into Netflix and watch it.
Well, you know, I mean, that's Chappelle's reputation, because he's always been the loose cannon in many different situations on some of his
when he walked away from $50 million.
Yeah.
If you can catch that.
You know what's amazing about that is, for most people, that would have been the end.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that would have been the end of their career. That was it. That'd be all done.
That would have killed another person's career, but this is Dave Chappelle.
That would have absolutely destroyed somebody
Yeah,
else.
but he came back.
Somehow he came back.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Just like Palpatine, somehow he's returned.
Well, Kanye West for all his foibles, no matter what. He goes away, he just keeps coming back. Like,
wait, can we really just compare Dave Chappelle to the Emperor Palpatine?
Because that dumb line that Poe says in Rise of Skywalker, that's the meme.
What's that?
Somehow he's returned. Like, that's how he comes back. That's how we find out that Emperor Palpatine's back. So anyway, also...
in fairness, in the comics, he comes back a lot, too.
Yeah, the EU and all that, yeah.
The whole Dark Empire thing was the fact that there were a bunch of... That basically there were a bunch of Emperor clones around, and his essence was... His 4C essence is able to transfer itself into those and all that other shit. And I mean, in fairness, the first Dark Empire series from Dark Horse is actually really pretty good. It's the second and third one that, even though I bought them, I'm sitting there going, why did I buy this? That weren't that great. But
kind of left you cold?
At the time, I was just starving for Star Wars content.
Yeah, those were the dark times before the Disney.
Oh, I see.
Well, not even that. That's before even episode 1.
Oh yeah, those were the dark times before episode 1. Yeah,
that's that period.
All we had was the novels and the comics.
And in fairness, really in reality, up and really the comics in the mid-90s, between the comics in the mid-90s and the RPG.
Oh, and those terrible Power of the Force figures where Luke was like some muscle-bound brute.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
The first that from like from 95 when Kenner tried to bring back the Star Wars line and the Power of the Force. The first Luke Skywalker, he was like buff, like 80s Arnold.
Buff Luke Skywalker.
That's right.
Buff Skywalker.
Buff Skywalker. And
I pump you up with my lights.
Hey, I'm Buff Skywalker. You want some Sniffy?
Just your power converters from Tashi Station. Tomorrow, Gesundheit. Tomorrow, or later in the week, or starting next week, I'm going to talk about season 3 of The Movies That Made Us. That drops tomorrow on Netflix.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It'd be helpful if I ever watched season 1 or season 2.
It's good.
I know.
What else?
Mike enjoys it.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything bad about it.
No.
I've seen a couple. I just haven't gotten around to it in a while. So.
It's just one of those days where you got so much. You're watching so many other things, and it's just like, okay, I better try to get to
you were talking about The West Wing, and I had a coworker who's like, "Yeah, I started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation," and so we got into this conversation about, season 1 is kind of iffy, and they had some because of the writer's strike in the 80s, and the fact that they were just the season 1, this is untested ground, and there was that there's that documentary about season 1 of TNG. It was called Chaos on the Bridge, where they almost didn't get picked up for a second season of TNG.
Is that the one where they pretty much admit that they literally most of this where they pretty much admit that it's the writing staff? It's all right, every other week, okay. This week's about the boy. This week's about the android. Next week's about the boy again. Next week's about the android again.
Mm-hmm. And they had more of that in season 2 as well.
Did they do that
before they had overreaching arcs or whatever?
Oh God.
But yeah, TNG was. I was like, oh, good luck, because season 1 had some crazy shit in season 1. I'm sorry, Ivan. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just greeting Tyrone in the room here.
Oh, hello, Tyrone. Welcome to Squares Round Table Podcast.
Yes, welcome, man. Glad you made it on down and sitting with us right now. We're in the midst of talking about TNG and some other great things. So go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
The dude's half my age, so this is cheesy TV for him. It's like cornball, and some of the effects are dated. I know they did upgrade some of the effects and put it in high definition, I think, for some of the effect shots in TNG, because some of the abridged parts of the episodes are airing on BBC America.
Okay.
But nice discussion with him about TNG. So there were some good episodes of TNG, but it didn't hit its stride until part of season 2, but season 3 is when really from season 3
pretty much when all of the writers actually started, get together and starting to concentrate on the product instead of having everything scattershot from week to week.
That Counselor Troy initially was going to have 4 boobs.
What?
Yeah, true.
In fairness, why not?
You got 4 boobs.
Yeah, because Roddenberry is kind of a horn dog. And his lawyer kind of oversaw some of the rewriting of the episodes in season 1. Said this whole documentary, Chaos on the Bridge, it talks about the tumultuous season 1 and the rumors about the unsubstantiated rumors about how they tried to replace Patrick Stewart, but it's still good. I think that's it for me.
By the way, why exactly did what's her name? Why exactly at one point was there the other doctor and not Wesley's mom?
Why Gates McFadden left after season 1. I think she wanted to pursue. I think she wanted to pursue a movie career. I remember she had like that minor role in A Hunt for Red October, but she came back after season 2, or that, or maybe because like Kate, what's her name, Dr. Pulaski, Dynamo Door, didn't want to come back.
That poor woman has had. That's 2 major shows she was on that nobody liked her. Because she was on LA Law.
Yeah, and she was a bitch. She played a bitch.
Nobody liked her there either.
No.
And the worst part is, it's like nobody liked her, and at the same time, it was like they had her like fall down an elevator shaft.
Yeah,
like,
she died rather unceremoniously. Yeah.
Right. It was one of those where even everybody was like, "Okay, you didn't have to do that. That was just."
And they rarely ever mentioned her name after she was replaced. Whether I guess they said that Beverly went to Starfleet Medical for a year, but she came back, and they didn't even mention why Dr. Pulaski left. But there's one episode where Dr. Pulaski was chummy with Riker's dad, so like. There's the meme there about how you may hate Dr. Pulaski, but she banged Riker's dad. So
God, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Guilt. Yeah. It's so funny. Hey, as long as we mentioned LA Law, I don't know. Did you guys see? So apparently, ABC, not NBC, which aired LA Law.
Yeah, I remember NBC had LA Law.
So ABC is relaunching LA Law with Blair Underwood.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like, I think most of the original cast is dead now, or they're just too old.
Well, okay. I imagine some of them are still. I mean, some of them are probably gone, but some of them are still around. You know.
So you're thinking that LA Law is going to sit there and be reconfigured for these times, or are they going to actually just run it on its previous?
No. It's actually they're moving it forward. They're actually moving it forward, where Blair Underwood is playing his previous character, and now he's in charge of Mackenzie Brackman.
So it's a continuation.
Yeah,
it's like they pick up where they left off.
I think the most interesting name that isn't attached to it is the most well-known name.
The creator.
No.
Or
Jimmy Smits was on that show.
Jimmy Smits. They had
and Corbin Bernsen was
Harry
on that
Hamlin.
show. Yeah.
Perseus. Remember from Clash of the Titans?
Oh, God.
Yeah, Clash of the Titans. Wow.
God.
That's how I remember Harry Hamlin. With that robot owl. The robot owl was awesome.
That movie was some kind of good and bad in so many different ways.
It's absolute cheese now. I love it.
Yeah.
I love watching it.
By the way, the remake, not that much better.
No.
Not
I miss that stop motion animation where Harry Hamlin's fighting the Medusa.
Oh, you're talking about the effects of Harryhausen?
Yes, the stop motion, yeah. With all the Sinbad movies where Sinbad would fight the skeletons.
Oh yeah, and you know, there was a documentary out a number of years ago about the whole Harryhausen experience, and he spread himself out into so many different directions, not only in just like bigger motion pictures. You know, I mean, he went into animation. He did a number of other different things, Harryhausen, and there was even a exhibit where you could have seen some of Harryhausen's, miniatures as to what they, do you think, what's crazy is you got old boy, battling a monster that is not even, I don't know, maybe 1/24 scale, maybe.
And it's superimposed like the actors fighting it. So you think we'll see we'll see the new LA Law, they'll be fighting skeletons on LA Law?
Yes, they will.
Waving their
zombies.
Actually, what they'll really be fighting is Lisa Renner, who is Harry Hamlin's wife. No, I'm kidding.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, no. Actually, now that you say that, it's like, why didn't they? Well, okay, so it makes probably because Blair Underwood seems. No, Jimmy Smits is a bigger name than
Well, he went to. Remember, he was on that cop show for a while.
Yeah, well, and he's whatchamacallit, Bail Organa too. I mean,
yeah, he's Princess Leia's stepdad.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Smits has been I'm just kind of surprised because Jimmy Smits did recently do a law show that didn't last very long, and it's one of those where it's like, you know, if you had Blair Underwood and Jimmy Smits, I mean, Blair Underwood, great. There's a part of me where I'm like, why wouldn't you bring back him and Jimmy Smits?
Why wouldn't you bring back Jimmy Smits?
Well, maybe that's
or the one chick from the Partridge Family.
Susan Day?
Oh, yeah, Susan Day. That's right. Susan Day was on that show, too. I forgot about that. Well, and the funny part is, so I know Corbin Burnson has a part-time role on The Resident, and has a part-time role anytime they do the Psych movies, too. But, again, Corbin Burnson was huge on L.A. Law. I mean, that's where he got his big break.
He was the horn dog on that show.
Right. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that, well, then again, you know what? Maybe we'll get a couple cameos here and there from him, just in general, with him going, hey, where's my money, or some shit like that, because he's an older partner or some shit like that. But, you know, yeah, like I said, I thought it was interesting to read about it. I don't know. I was reading about it, and I was like, it was kind of weird. Just like, but in fairness, it's kind of been, I hate to say it, it's long overdue.
Who?
It's long overdue. In some ways, I'm
this
kind of
LA
surprised.
Law continuation. Yeah, I agree.
It's long overdue.
Well, I'm glad it's a continuation and not a retread like, you know, a lot of other things have been happening lately.
Well, speaking of retreads, Ivan, how was that episode of The Wonder Years?
Well, that episode of The Wonder Years, I have to say, I have to give it props, and I have to say that, they did a marvelous, marvelous job.
Which one did you watch?
You know, I watched the one the previous Wednesday.
Was it the first episode, or you've been following it?
The second one, or
the second episode?
Okay.
Cool.
And I saw it, and I have to say that, you know, and I have to, I got a bowl of crow over here that I'm sticking my fork in right now, because here it is. I said a lot of things about it the last time we were on, and, well, I have to say that, I would definitely be on the lookout to look for more episodes of the
last week's episode was actually the best one they've done.
So
The last week's episode was the best one they've done. The one where basically he starts telling everybody about sex. That one was hysterical. That's the best stuff. They hit their. That was exactly what I've been looking for them to do.
They finally hit the stride on that one. Yeah. So I think
that one was a solid episode. That was
so I'm
the
thinking,
best one they've done so far.
So I'm thinking, it's gonna, you know, with the detractors, as with any reworking of any show, you'll have your people that are, you know, and I have to admit, I was a naysayer too, and but then after watching it and seeing that it's totally a whole new invention in of itself, you know, and the writing about it is very solid. The character portrayals are really very good, very, very, you know, because, you know, when you talk about television, especially black television and everything, and of course television has had a history of catering to buffoonery when it comes down to black comedy. Well, it's done the same thing with Hispanic comedy too. But, you know, after watching the Wonder Years episode, I got to thinking, you know what? There is hope for this particular type of a program. I mean, there is going to be, and if more follow the example, I think it's going to bring out more. Go ahead.
If anything, Ivan, what it reminds me of, and Mike, I don't know if you saw this one or not, but if you remember do you remember Chris Rock did that everyone hates, was it Everyone Hates Chris?
I remember Everyone Hates Chris, yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Everybody Hates Chris, except it's a little bit more mainstream.
Well, yeah, because everybody hates.
Yeah, I might have caught some of that, but I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, I mean, I That was a great show. I liked Everybody Hates Chris, and, it was a little more hardcore in its presentation of certain themes and situations, but I can see a lot of that, and I have to concur with you, Jeff. I do see a lot of that in the New Wonder Years, which is really quite refreshing to see something that was hardcore, like, Everybody Hates Chris, to make it into mainstream television and actually, actually working and actually being something, well worth enjoying, well worth watching,
Yeah.
So I stick the crow in my mouth and I eat the feathers, and I have to say that, Wonder Years, catch it. If you haven't caught it yet, definitely take it in. I'm going to do some more. I mean, I love the original Wonder Years. So I was brought up on that. And, that was going to say, that was going to be, and I know I said that's going to be a real hard act to follow. And then, of course, with the race and gender changings of so much programming happening nowadays, you have to consider that, you could go ahead and change a race or a gender, but you have to make sure that the integrities are kept intact when you're doing such things, because, you don't want it to come off as, just because we had this type of a show, we need to have that kind of a show, and, and it's, but it stands on its own merit, and, kudos to them.
Mm. Yeah, that's all I got this week.
Well, that's cool. Ivan, you got anything going on this week, or anything that's been happening this past week?
Well, let me see. Yesterday, I couldn't make it to my my resident gig over at Kohl's because I was tore up. In fact, I've been nursing this thing now for a few days now, and it really just started getting bad on Saturday, and then Sunday it was just like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm not gonna be able to stand there 4 hours and just keep myself from falling over. So I wasn't about to do that.
You think you're gonna make your next one?
No, I'm going to try my best to make my next one. I'm not going to do any of my daytime situations this week. I'm going to just rest up and just stay in bed and just get this whatever this funk got a hold of me. I think my daughter.
You going to get a test?
Yeah, I'm going to get tested. I mean, as far as I know, it's it's the same thing my daughter had. She ended up having a sinus and a head cold and everything like that. I was with her this week. And then I ended up in the rain, so I might have just caught a chill, and then this is what this is. But yeah, I'm going to go get tested as soon as possible and get this all squared away. And so other than that, so no, this week I'm probably going to be just doing downtime and just relaxing a little bit. Some sad news came to me on Thursday. We did not get the apartment. So now we're back to square one again, and so now round and round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows, but that's how it is. So yeah, so tomorrow, it's okay. I mean, when one door closes, several windows open. So that's how I look at it. And I just figured, well, you know what? I just wasn't meant to be in that place. I guess there's a better place waiting for me. So that's what I'm going to do. And other than that, excuse me. And other than that, the next gig I should be involved with is actually going to be a double header. I'm doing the 17th over at Logan Arcade. I will be there for 3 to 7 to do the Sweet Soulful Sunday, and then I'll probably take that over to Kohl's and continue, Sweet Soulful Sunday 2 over there. And that's going to be the 10 to 2. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a long day on Sunday, but, I can take care of that. And then what else? There were some thoughts about doing the Halloween thing over at Cafe Mustache on the 30th. So that's just going to be nothing more than me appearing in costume with my daughter, with Soraya. And
you got a costume planned out?
Well, no, not right now. I got to, once some cash flow comes through, then I got to go ahead Basically, I have to get a wig. I got everything else.
Just get a bed sheet. Be like, cut the holes like Charlie Brown.
Oh, there you go.
Get a rock.
There you go. And I'll get a rock every time I go to the front door, I got a rock. But yeah, but aside from that, nothing, no major stakes at this very moment, just trying to get over this funk and, and of course people, another reason why you need to go get your shots if you so desire to get your shots. And, my booster, I'm getting my booster next month, which is cool. And, and just gotta, and they say that you can get the flu and COVID at the same time. So if you haven't got your flu shot, make sure you get that at least, for all intents and purposes if you so desire. Because, you can't make people do what they don't want to do. So, you ask them, you do it if you so desire,
So, Jeff, what have you been doing?
So let's see, this week, so it's funny, because I told you last week, Mike, that I was like, I'm not watching that La Brea thing, I'm done. And then a family member happened to tape it, so I was like, all right, I'll take another look at it. And I'm like, it's interesting, I'm just not sure I'm willing to watch this every week. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know that I'm willing to invest in this show yet.
Did you finish the episode? You said how many episodes you in?
I finished the second episode. I've seen the pilot and I saw the second episode. And it's interesting, and yet at the same time, how do I put this? It's like, I don't feel like investing in another one of these shows where it's like how far, where it's like it's a mystery, and it'll build on the next mystery, and then there'll be another mystery, but then they'll find the answer, but there'll be another mystery, and it's like some of these shows just die out, and it's like, all right, I can wait until it gets to Netflix or wherever the hell it goes, at this point with some of this stuff. And it's like, I just don't want to do it,
So it's not holding your interest, so.
It's holding my interest. I just, I don't want to then later be like, okay, this show, when they cancel the show, be like, I invested time. I can watch this anytime,
So you're worried to leave at a cliffhanger, or?
Well, I don't know. I just, one of those where it's like there's so much other shit I'm watching these days where I'm just like, okay, I can watch, it's like, how do I put this? It's like, if I could just, watch it, when there's nothing else freaking on or going on, maybe I would, check that out that way, but, right now, I'm like, no thanks. There's a lot of shit I can be watching other places in other ways. Or there's other new shows that I'm, willing to give more of a shot, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know. Like I said, that's just me.
Only so many hours in the day and so much TV.
Right, exactly. It's one of those where it's like, after a while, it's like, okay, at some point, there's only so much time. And,
so many shows, so little time.
And contrary to popular belief, at some point, I actually have to do shit in my life. Besides sit around and watch TV. But, so like I said, not bad. I just am not willing. I don't know that I'm willing to commit. I'm trying to think what else this past week. Just kind of, it was kind of a quiet week, honestly. Did the storytelling show, had some people last night for that. Kind of a smaller crowd. Was a little bummed out about that, but it is what it is. And
you got your peaks and valleys.
Yeah, we're having kind of a real crater.
And there was the whole software update problems with Clubhouse last week.
It was that was just a me problem more than anybody else. Because I have an older phone that is a smaller screen, that was a problem. I finagled a couple of 3 months of Stars from my cable company, which was cool because there's this show that I had wanted to see that Stars is running right now called Heels, and it's from the guy who wrote Loki and Mike O'Malley, the actor / producer, who's been in a bunch of stuff. and it stars Stephen Amell and Maureen McCormick, and this is the one that kills me. I didn't even realize it was this person. The guy who played PETA in the Hunger Games.
Oh, the young hero, the young hero.
Yeah, that guy, the guy who she ends up with in the end, the blonde-haired
the love interest.
Oh my God. They turned him into, like, he got ripped for this thing. Like, totally ripped. I mean, like, he looks like an entirely different guy. And he grew his hair out long. I mean, he looks like a golden god.
Like Fabian? Or Fabio? Not Fabian, Fabio.
I mean, he looks like he's, I mean, I didn't even put two and two together until, like, I was reading something today where it's like, oh, yeah, from Hunger Games. Like, no way, that can't be the same
Well,
dude.
when you're on the street and everyone's calling you PETA.
Well, no, I mean, dude, go take a look at this guy. Like, go, like, Google Ace Spade, right? Go Google, like, Heels Ace Spade.
Ace Spade sounds like a porn name.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a wrestling name, but you get the idea. But, like, go Google that and look at the guy's picture. You would never imagine that's the guy from Hunger Games. No way. I mean, that guy don't look like that guy at all. I was like, wow, holy shit. I didn't even realize it until I was done watching the show. But it's an 8-episode season.
I Google Ace Spade heels. All that comes is shoes.
Oh, God. Try add stars.
I put in TV. Okay. There he is. The dude, oh my God, the dude is buff.
Yeah.
He's like Brad Pitt's trainer.
I know. Like, I would never, okay, do you understand why, like, what I'm saying now? Which is, like, until, like, somebody mentioned that, like, that's the guy from the Hunger Games, I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like,
got ripped, bro.
Like,
bro.
I just got done watching, like, all 8 episodes, and I'm like, holy shit, really?
Do some squats, bro.
Oh, my God. So, the show's about a regional wrestling federation that's run by the Spade family, and the guy who's running it is Stephen Amell's character, who's named Jack Spade. And so he's running it, and it's kind of interesting because they don't make it like, okay, like, it's the great big promotion and everything's cool. No, they show him having to go to, like, a 9-to-5 job during the day and all that shit like that. Where this is just kind of like an on-the-side thing that, you know, they're trying to make it work, if you know what I mean. And, you know, based in, like, a small town in Georgia, like one of those small promotions.
What, does this take place in present day, or?
Yeah, it takes place in present day.
Okay.
And it's a good drama piece. You don't necessarily have to be a wrestling fan to watch it. If you're a wrestling fan, I think you'll really enjoy it. Cast is really, really good. Like I said, you know, you get some serious people involved with this, and like I said, all 8 episodes, because the finale was last night, and I happened to, like, I binge watched the other 7 and then caught the last one today. So it's an 8-episode season. They are, like, hour episodes. But again, like I said, I found it a compelling show and worthwhile. I'd say it's a good watch. I mean, again, Stephen Amell does his thing, and he's phenomenal at it. And, you know, like I said, it was compelling enough. The best way I could put it, Mike, is this. In some ways, it reminded me of Glow from Netflix.
Yeah, I remember you talking about Glow.
And the problem I had with Glow was they never really did much with the wrestling part. But it has kind of the same feeling of, like, the kind of where, like, the beginnings of something and we're trying to make it kind of thing. The difference is this is a lot more gritty. And the other difference is we actually get wrestling. We actually see them. I mean, it's not like the end. You have to, how do I put this? You know, obviously they do other shit in the show, but, you know, we actually get wrestling versus the, hey, we just finished the match and we just finished matches and now we're going to do everything but do anything about wrestling, which was my biggest problem with Glow. So to me, it's one of those where it's like, if you like Glow, you're definitely going to, I think most people are going to like this. It is an hour. It's more of a dramatic than a comedy. It's funny because Starz has not said they've picked up a season 2 yet, which is a little surprising because I think it's done pretty well. But we'll see. I imagine they'll pick it up. If they don't, I'd be a little surprised. And in fairness, if I was another streamer, I would certainly look at picking it up and bringing it somewhere else. I can think of a couple of places off the top of my head that should consider it. It would be a big hit on Netflix. I'll tell you that right now. If this was a Netflix show, people would be talking about it like crazy. Especially what's his name.
But because it's on a lesser-known streaming service, that it's not getting.
Well, it's not even a streaming service. It's Starz.
Oh, okay. It's on a cable channel.
It's cable.
Okay.
It's cable. It's cable. So
Yeah, aren't we getting? Yeah. As a side note, aren't we getting that next season of Yellowstone soon? Isn't that coming
soon?
Yeah, should be dropping soon.
Soon. So that was the one that I caught. I'll be honest. The seasons of this set of seasons for Supergirl and Stargirl have not really impressed me.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, especially with Supergirl because it's coming down the stretch.
It's the last season, for her.
Right, it's the last season, and they decided that their final villain was going to be. They did have Mr. Mxyzptlk, but they had a female character from the Fifth Dimension who seems to be the bad guy. And they're doing this thing with MacGuffin totems, and I'm like, oh, come on, really? It's like, maybe they feel like paying, what's his name?
Who would you pick for a main bad guy for the finale to Supergirl?
I would have stuck with, what's his name, who's been playing Lex Luthor, has been great.
Okay.
I would have done unless they're trying to hold off on that because they're going to push him over to Superman and Lois. Which
that's the logical choice because Superman, not Supergirl.
Yeah, but again, I mean, you get the point.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, in fairness,
was there new episode?
You think that maybe they're just concluding it just for the sake of just concluding it because they know it's in the final stretch.
Her contract is up, and
they made an announcement that they weren't doing another season. That's what basically it came down to. Was they were like,
so it sounds like they're just ramping it up.
Well, right. Yeah. This is the back half. Again, this is the back half of the season of the final season. They stopped it midway. At the midway point of the season because they felt like they could use it at the beginning of fall and package it with Stargirl. And Stargirl, the problem I'm having with Stargirl is, so Eclipso is the villain, and Eclipso is one of those villains where it gets into people's heads, and they've really taken a very hardcore horror bent on it. And
they're going darker? Okay.
They've gone really dark with it.
Go dark. It's DC. They go dark.
Well, the problem isn't that it's just gotten it's a little bit too horror. How do I say? And it's like this show
just got horror induced.
Like they went far too much into the horror stuff, and I'm like, and I get it. I get it. It's Eclipso, but I feel like they could have kept this a little lighter in places, and it's like. They're just not, and it's like, okay, it's just kind of one of those where it's like, I'm sure there are other people who are enjoying it. I'm just not a bit.
You're just not one of those people,
right? It's not a genre I'm a huge fan of, and I'll tolerate it with superhero stuff. But if it gets a little too dark on this show, it just feels a little over the top dark, and it's like,
Well, do you think maybe it's just a last-ditch effort to kind of roust interest in Stargirl?
No, Stargirl's had it. Stargirl had huge interest after season 1. Season 1 was very good. That's the other thing I kind of laugh about. Oh no, the quality won't change in Stargirl. Bullshit, it didn't. Bullshit, it didn't.
So it took
amped it up, did they?
Quality. You say quality went down? Well,
I wouldn't say quality went down, but how do I put this? It's like, let's just say there's less fighting going on.
Noticeable budget constraints.
Right. Things where it's like, okay, maybe we can't have this or can't have that because, that costs too much.
I'm surprised I'm surprised you saw the giant robot as many times as you did in season 1.
Well, right, because that was being paid for DC for DC Online, and they had a better budget than CW, which is why when CW took it, I was like, oh boy. Like they had you haven't watched this season. Okay, I'll give you. Here's a perfect example. Okay, they had a situation where there was a sequence where, those bad guys happened, and of course the big giant robot has been taken apart, and now it's taking them all season to put the big giant robot back together.
Yeah, it's convenient.
Gee, that's convenient. I wonder why they're doing that. Could it be because they don't have budget to use the big giant robot?
Let's just go ahead and milk it out for an entire season.
Well, it's just that their excuse is that it's a different kind of villain. Like the stakes were pretty high in season 1. But this one, they're just going for like this.
But here's the thing: Eclipso's a
bigger villain. Aesthetic.
Eclipso's a bigger villain than their season 1 villain. Eclipso's a huge villain. I mean, he's
the Injustice Society. You'd say Eclipso's bigger than Injustice Society?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Eclipso has basically taken on the entire DC universe and won a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, that's the level of the power level when we're talking about Eclipso. But so I get on some level some of it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I really wish that they had basically made this an HBO Max show so they could have kept budget, because it's there. You can, how can I say, the quality level of the type of, how do I put this? The quality level in terms of like the type of shooting looks good, but you can tell in places where it's like there's no budget. You can just tell. I mean, you can just sit there. It's like, oh, magically the robots were taken apart. Or the light. We don't see Courtney go on patrol flying on the thing very often. Gee, I wonder why.
Right, she's surfing on the staff, right?
Right, surfing on the staff. Gee, I wonder why. Because it costs money to light up the staff.
It costs money to do that stuff.
Yeah, it costs money. It's like, it's not as bad as the season of the first season of Iron Fist, where he sat there the entire set at time.
Where's my chi?
I lost my chi. Where's my chi? So because they didn't want to have to pay for the fucking special effect of the fact of his hand glowing yellow. I mean, look, if you're either going to do the show, you're not going to do the show.
Well, maybe in the initial, how you just hear the term, it all looks good on paper, and it's a case where, you write a story and you produce a story and you try to put it together, but then when you start adding in all of the extras and edits, and then see, those are the things
the problem is
think about.
But the thing is, Evan, we're not talking about story here, and again, I want to be clear. The story isn't horrible. It's just not hitting me because they've gone kind of dark on the horror side of it.
Oh, no. But
we're talking about budget for like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you go ahead and you write something, okay, writers don't necessarily think in terms of budget. Okay, yeah, their imaginations run wild. Things blow up, things light up, things fly. Things do this, things do that, but then translating that into the real world thought pattern is like, oh yeah, well we need to get Imagine Light and Magic to do this shit, because you know what? What you're asking for in the
Industrial Light and Magic, Ivan?
Industrial Light and Magic, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I said. So Industrial Light and Magic, we got to get them in here to do what it is you want done on the page, and we just don't got the money for that,
But here's the thing, Ivan. Here's the thing, and this is the only reason I'm even talking about this. So in season one, this show was actually not produced by CW. This show was produced by DC Universe when it existed. So the budget was very, very different, and the budget was a better. they were able to do a lot more. Okay, and that was the question going into season 2 was, CW's taking over the show versus making it an HBO Max show. Okay, where they have the budget. And
we all know the foibles. We all know the foibles of CW, though. Isn't that a long situation with CW where they've always seen those problems?
Well, but here's the thing. No, see, here's the problem is this. Once upon a time, when CW started all their superhero shows, at the time when they started their superhero shows and the superhero shows that they've created, what they had and the budget they had was cool. Because there wasn't anything else out there. And there weren't superhero TV shows out there that were doing anything. Okay? I mean, even versus the Marvel Netflix stuff. The Marvel Netflix stuff had even less budget than they did. Okay? But now, you've got Marvel on Disney Plus, and they're sinking real money into it and real budget into it, and suddenly these shows don't look. Suddenly these shows don't hold up. The other thing is I hate to say it, a lot of what they did with the CW verse, it's been around. Technically, the CW verse, because of Arrow, has been around over 10 plus years now. Well, they kind of tried to do a reset with the Crisis of Infinite Earths, but not really. And I hate to say it, you're in a place where with some of these shows, where they need to kind of freshen up some of this shit, and they're trying.
It makes it feel like DC in the ever since Crisis, DC just doesn't know what to do with itself.
Right.
We talked about
and
this
what they do seems piecemeal.
Well, it's not piecemeal. It's just, how can I say, some of the stuff that they're doing, they're not.
They're doing the best they can with the limited budget constraints.
Right, yeah, with what they got, with the cards they've been dealt. Yeah.
And in fairness, in some ways, they've been dealt bad hands. Like, for example, the whole thing with Batwoman, where Ruby Rose decided she was going to leave. Well, okay. So, that screwed up. I shouldn't say screwed up the entire show, but that didn't help that show at all. Which is when the original person you brought in to play Batwoman disappears. And now you've got to explain all this, and, you pretty much are spending. I mean, I'm surprised they got a season 3. Honestly, I will probably watch the beginning of the Flash season, because I'm hearing that they're bringing in people from other shows and some other people for whatever they're doing here at the beginning of the season. But and so I may give it a look. But I was done watching the Flash. I can't watch that show. I'm tired. I'm bored. It's the same shit over and over again.
Just jump the shark. It's beating a dead horse, or whatever term you want to call it.
Right. Legends of Tomorrow. I enjoy the characters, but I'm starting to get to a point on that show where literally I'm like, it's funny, but this has gotten dumb. And at one point, they were at least creating characters. They were bringing in characters from DC Comics. Now they're just creating characters of their own to put on the show.
Hey, Billy, how you doing? Good to see you.
To do that kind of stuff, and it loses quite a bit. So I don't know. Like I said, to me, they got some work to do with that. On a different note, I did watch Titans this week, so we're down to what? I mean, I think this was what episode? I can't remember this was episode 10. No, we're higher than that. We're up to like either 11 or 12.
Well, they got to be close to ending season 3 then.
Right. Season 3 is 13 episodes. Again, there's an aspect of this, of what they're doing, that I'm utterly confused by how they've written this for it to make sense. Where literally it's like, and they don't explain it, but literally the entire city of Gotham is turned on the Titans. And that just... the way they explain the rationale for it doesn't work for me at all. It's, like, dumb.
This caught some bad PR that week.
It's exactly how they basically are trying to explain it, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly that. It's like, okay, we're just going to use, like, it's like, it rejects any premise of, okay, they're heroes, and magically all of a sudden out of nowhere, they're all going to believe, everybody's going to believe they're bad people. And we're all going to believe that Red Hood's a good guy. It's like, what the fuck are you guys talking? What are you, crazy? I don't know. Like I said, we'll see. I just am not. I'm not feeling it.
Well, we'll see how the series. We'll see how the season ends.
We'll see where the season ends.
Have we gotten the green light for season 4 of this show yet?
I don't know.
How about what about Doom Patrol?
So Doom Patrol again. It's interesting because it's a little understated this season, but it's interesting, and they are trying to stop. And Ivan will die of laughter. I can't remember the exact term that they use, but to basically paraphrase it down, they're trying to stop a fart that will end the world. But the episode was good.
It's a gas.
It's a solid show, and the only thing, like I said, I feel like there's a couple of things this season that they've done so far where I'm just kind of like, it's lost a couple. It feels like it's lost a little bit of the humor in places, but I'm enjoying. It's still good. It's still enjoyable. I'm willing to give it a shot. Unlike Titans, where
you're ready to hang it up. Huh?
I'm not so much ready to hang it up. It's just
you're just increasingly frustrated because you've been emotionally vested in these characters for decades, and this is not how you would intend them to be portrayed.
Whereas with the Doom, the other thing is with the Doom Patrol. Okay, they had 2 really great seasons. It's a little flat right now. All right, I trust them that they'll figure it out because there's been enough things here or there that have been kind of amusing. Like them being zombies and talking as zombies was kind of amusing, where they were all zombies at one point and was kind of funny. Or like the guy I told you about with the guy with the old school phonograph where he'd have to play it and the guy would walk in and the guy had been like staying at the
theme
resort.
Music, right?
Right, we're staying at the resort for 70 years waiting for them to show up. That stuff is still good. They still have moments like that work. So,
At least you're still finding it entertaining. That's good.
Yeah. And again, Titans is... With Titans, the difference is that I like the characters. The people who are playing the characters are doing a good job. Yeah, I'm just not... It's like, whoever's writing some of this stuff, I really want to be like, really? What was your thought process here? What was your thought process? And it's funny, because like every so often they'll have it, like, the first 3+ episodes are great. That one episode I told you about where Hawk is back, but I can't explain it without spoiling anything. That was pretty good. There are moments of things. There are moments of things that look good, but then they do things that I'm just like I don't. Again, part of my problem is I didn't buy Scarecrow and Red Hood as villains for an entire Titan season, and they're trying to make that where I should buy it. And
if that's not interested to you, then why?
It's not that it's not interested. I'm looking at who is the roster of people that they have on the Titans versus the Red Hood and Scarecrow. Now, I'm not saying that it couldn't be interesting, but some of the things that they're basing some of this on, I'm literally like sitting here going, no. It's like, okay, no, you should be able. You guys, no, this shouldn't. I mean, the biggest one.
If you had a chance to rewrite it, what would you do with it?
Well,
that's a really open-ended question.
Right.
But the problem is, it seems like this is an exercise in frustration for you.
Well, it's the part where, I'm almost, if anything, at this point, I'm using it for purposes of how to tell of learning how to tell better stories and sitting here going, if I were doing it, what would I do here? And the problem is, Ivan, I also am trying not to spoil things for Mike because he hasn't watched it yet.
Well, okay. No, I see what you're saying.
Right. So the point is, but here's what I can say. What I can say is this. You have two villains who have no superpowers, and that's fine. But one of the people that you have who is one of your heroes is Superboy.
And he's almost the same level as Superman.
Yeah, and, well, not exactly, but yeah, I mean, the point being is...
Well, he's got 90% of the props. Let's go with that.
Less than that.
Or enough. He's got enough of the power that there are some things that are going on that literally he should be the answer to everything.
Enough of the power!
Or they would need to figure out a way to neutralize him more, or certain things shouldn't be able to be happening. Not to mention there have been a couple of things that have happened where literally I'm like, have they forgotten that Dick Grayson was like the second to the quote-unquote world's greatest detective? He's not a moron. He could figure out how to fix this too.
He's conveniently unable to figure this shit out.
Yeah, and the best is they're kind of making it seem like...
And that would make it great supplement to this story. It's like, wait a minute, let him be like Batman Jr. and let him sit in the chair and figure stuff out and then help.
Well, and that's the funny part. That's what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they're doing it in a way where it's, Dick, you're trying to do everything yourself. Oh, yeah, I am. Except he's trying to do everything himself, and the problem is they're making him seem like an idiot. If you understand what I mean. At times where it's like, no, Dick Grayson's smarter than this.
Yeah.
Dick Grayson is smarter than this. He wouldn't do that, but you're going to make him do it because you need him to do this. That's bad writing is what it is.
That's too bad.
Well, it's something to be said about the sidekick / partner / team situation where you find the protagonist who, of course, knows how to run all the computers and runs all the gear and knows all the stuff and everything. And, it seems to be a long settling situation when it comes to I don't like calling them second bananas because that's not right, but, because they're integral to the story too. But when has it ever been a case where a sidekick or a partner actually did come in and say, hey, I got about as much smarts as you do, or, I got about as much intellect or powers or whatever as you do. Has that ever been a case in point anywhere?
Yeah, his name is Dick Grayson.
Yeah, they've done lots of stories where he's the lead and he's come into his own. He's spent enough time with Bruce to figure shit out by himself. But this show is not allowing that because of the way it's written.
Right. That's half
basically
that's half the reason he becomes Nightwing, Ivan, is because is for exactly that reason. Now, in fairness, the editors at DC Comics, when they let him get put back into the Bat book rotation, have fucked that for decades now. But we won't get into that discussion. We won't get into that discussion.
No, you don't want to get into that rabbit hole. No, that's a long rabbit hole.
Because they've fucked that ridiculously too. Because they had enough power and enough stroke to get him back to being a Batman book, and I understand what their rationale for it is, but at the end of the day, he's more than a Batman character, or at least he was until they took back control of him. And that's been the case since probably sometime in the 90s, when the Bat editing crew had a lot more power and were finally able to get him back. And now they just make him another one of the Batman books. That's fine that he's not Bat anyway. But the point being, Ivan, is the irony on some of that stuff is some of the things that you said about, like, understanding how to use some of these things and how to do all these things, that's one of the problems I'm having with the writing.
Well, there you go.
I don't want to, again, I'm trying not to ruin it for Mike, but there's something that happens that literally I'm sitting there and I'm going, this is what Batman would do.
Right.
If Batman would do it, Nightwing / Dick Grayson would do it.
Nightwing should be asking. The writer should know that Dick should be asking himself these questions. What would Bruce do?
Right, exactly.
I mean, here, ready? Okay. Mike,
what'd you think?
Well, okay, so Michael Fry, I can say this and Mike won't be too annoyed. So, it's Scarecrow. So, obviously, at some point, there's some sort of fear toxin. Okay?
Yeah.
How many times have you ever seen in a Batman book or in a cartoon where Batman uses the computers to come up with an antidote to the fear toxin?
Like every time?
Every time.
But magically this time, for some strange reason, somehow magically Dick Grayson can't figure it out and how to use even though he's got everything at his disposal in the Batcave. And P.S., he's got Superboy, who could make the calculations in no time flat.
Right.
Yeah.
But why aren't they doing it?
Well, that would be...
Then that would
be my question as to why I'm literally sitting here looking at what they've decided to do as where they're trying to go with this storyline and what they're forcing, and they're trying to literally... They have an idea for something that they want to do, and they're kind of almost trying to make it like a no man's land kind of thing. And that's fine, except the problem is that this is something that would happen if this was happening, and yet it's been ignored. And I don't know why it's been ignored, other than, hey, it doesn't help our story.
Right. So it's inconvenient to the writing.
Right. It's inconvenient to where we want to go.
Unless, of course, maybe it's just, they're just maybe not putting that oomph into these episodes just yet because maybe the writers are doing something else, or maybe they've got something else on their thought process about it. I don't know.
Right. Well, that's what I mean, and I don't agree with their writing process. That's my point. My point is that they see this differently than I do, and I'm sitting here looking at it and going, no way.
You're going shit.
No.
That's it. No. This just seems like an exercise in frustration for you.
Definitely a study of frustration for you, man.
Maybe. Again, I'm watching it because I like the characters. If I didn't like the characters, I wouldn't watch it. Unfortunately, here's the sad part. The sad part is this is the closest I'm going to get to anything that looks like anything live action of the characters that I like. This is the closest we're going to get.
Right. It's either this or Teen Titans Go.
Right.
Oh, my God.
There you go. See, that's my problem. That's my problem in life. My problem in life is that they gave $70 million to fucknut to make his Justice League, but I got this bullshit Titan show that they can't fucking figure out to save their lives, okay? And
it almost comes off as disinterest, really.
Well,
when you think about it.
I mean, there's enough interest. They're getting the scary part is I don't think there's disinterest because they're running it on TNT too, and it's getting numbers. So it's not disinterest. But
no, I'm not saying disinterest in the people watching it, just disinterest in the writing situation of it.
I don't know what.
Maybe the powers that be with the pencils and everything, just not thinking about it.
I would love to be a fly on the wall about what the logic was in this season, because the only thing I can come up with is this is what they sold to HBO Max to get a season 3. It's the only thing I can come up with.
Do you think it was just fodder for another product?
No, I think it was this is how we get a season 3. And I think we get more eyeballs because we're going to put them in Gotham, and we're going to use a Batman villain. And so maybe we'll get more eyeballs.
Use multiple Batman villains.
Well, yeah, that would be the other problem. So why, if you're going to do that, why won't you do this too? Probably this is the only one they could get their hands on.
Right.
It's probably my guess. But yeah, because they're not going to give them the fucking Joker. And I'm assuming that they've got, I think I heard something that there's somebody working on shit with the Riddler. Actually, I take it back. Isn't the Pattinson movie with the Riddler?
No, that's, I think that, yeah, he's Riddler. The sparkly vampire Batman. Yeah, the Riddler's going to be.
That's the Riddler. So there's your answer.
Yeah.
Sparkly vampire Batman?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Twilight vampire guy.
Yeah, the Twilight vampire guy's got.
Okay,
that's why
got
he's called
it.
the sparkly Batman guy.
Okay, I got you.
But there's your answer. Your answer is that, and they're in the process of developing a Penguin show. So there's
you're saying
actually,
that's probably the mentality. The mentality of the studio execs is like, well, he's Dick Grayson, right? He was Robin. All right, so throw the Batman villains at him. That seems to be the mentality.
But wait, here's my favorite. But you can't use the Joker. You can't use the Joker.
Right, the iconic, like, tier 1 Batman villains.
You can't use the Riddler. You can't use the Riddler or Penguin because we're using them in a movie.
You can't use Two-Face and, Mr.
Actually,
Freeze.
You know what the funny part is? Two-Face at least would have been an interesting choice because he has a history with Dick Grayson. Or at least
yes, he does. You would think that would be...
At one point he did. You could have brought in Ra's al Ghul, but I guess they decided against that because for multiple reasons. Although it's funny
because he was played out in the Nolanverse.
No, not only that, but he's been on the air. He's been in the CW verse too.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't want to tread.
So
there.
he just said oversaturation of the character.
I don't know, or maybe that's a down the road next kind of thing because. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything to Mike again. I'm trying not to spoil.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry I'm sorry that you're struggling with Titans.
It's not struggling.
So I think we can move on from the Titans.
Right. It's not necessarily. Again, to answer Ivan's question, my choice is if I don't watch this show to watch the characters that I read and was my favorite book are. 1, 2, 3, Teen Titans. Mm-hmm. Or even the worst version of that, in fairness, there is the Judas Contract movie, which was okay. It wasn't great, and in the end, I didn't get all the people I wanted. So this is the closest shit I get to anything I'm sorry, I take it back. Young Justice is the closest that I get, and they're not making any more seasons of that. So right now, this is the best I can do.
Wow.
Did you finish Young Justice, the series?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I finished it a while ago.
Right.
And there you go.
So there's your answers.
All right. So anything else this week, or are we going to move into news?
Yeah, I guess we can move into What If, right?
Yeah, we also got What If, the finale of What If that happened, and that was the thing.
What do you think? What did you think, Mike?
It's what I think we pretty much called it. I mean, they pretty much pulled all the stops. It's just bringing out at least facets of the reasons why we got all these characters, all these episodes where they all stand alone, but they're all culminated in this one final battle with Infinity Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And the, I guess, slightly less evil Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
He just became more like Doctor Strange with bags under his eyes, pretty much. I thought he'd become totally corrupted, and I know he sometimes kind of struggled with the monsters that he absorbed, trying to gain all this power.
Yeah, I haven't gotten enough sleep, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's what we got with Doctor Strange. But of course, I think this is confirmed. This was Chadwick Boseman's last voice role as T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Steve. I'll say, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so yeah, that's what it culminated at. We got Captain Carter and Star-Lord T'Challa and Thor from the Party Thor, and who else do we got? We got Gamora.
Killmonger.
Yeah, Killmonger from.
So apparently, by the way, there was an episode that didn't happen in season 1 that's going to happen in season 2 with Gamora and Iron Man.
Iron Man was like this Hulkbuster looking armor.
Right, that supposedly
that the Watcher plucked her from.
Right. So apparently there was an episode because of COVID they were not able to finish in season 1 that we're going to get about that in season 2.
Okay. Well,
which is why we got Gamora. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
No, I did not know that. That's good.
Right.
So I guess we're going to get a season 2, and I'm fine with season 2 of this.
Oh yeah, I thought you were aware that that's been green. That was greenlit before the finale. There's a season 2 coming.
Okay. But yeah, this was a cool battle. We got some bang pow bash, usual sock 'em rock 'em beat 'em up action here. And it was fine. I'm cool with it.
I'll be honest. I didn't exactly see where they were going to go in the end with that battle, but I certainly saw part of it. Without question, I saw part of it, which was I knew Killmonger was going to do that.
Yeah.
I just knew. I knew it.
We knew, Killmonger was surprisingly quiet during all this shit. We knew it was going to be but the Watcher foresaw his betrayal, so. Right.
Well, and then, Zola's in the other body, and then they put him in that thing that Strange is watching, and I gotta be honest, I don't think that's here's what's gonna be interesting, Mike. It's really clear that a lot of these characters are coming back, and obviously they're coming back for a season 2, and there'll be other stuff that they do. The real other question is will we see these characters beyond cartoon?
Maybe it might get teased in the Multiverse of Madness. The thing is, we have introduced the multiverse, so this is part of that. And Loki's done that too. So,
right, they have made this clear that this is canon. This is not just one shot.
It's all part of the MCU, but stuff they can be able to do on a more grandiose scale because of animation and not just and of course pay Chris Hemsworth.
But I'll give you an example, okay? This does open doors for them to create. So this opens a few doors. One, would anybody be interested in seeing a Captain Carter movie? Yeah, I think so. I think people would be interested in seeing a Captain Carter movie.
Or even if we get like a cameo in some fight in one of the fighting in the multiverse and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a full. We've got an origin film, but I don't know if we need another origin film. How we got the first Chris Evans Captain America film.
Right, you wouldn't necessarily need that in theory.
But we'd be able to insert her now into other parts of this, live action MCU.
Right, exactly. There's one example.
Yeah, I was just kind of bummed
we didn't. That says. Carl, go ahead.
I was just kind of bummed we didn't get James Spader as the voices of Ultron.
But nothing says that in the movies we wouldn't get him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And again, here's a perfect example. Maybe that Ultron. Well, in fairness, we wouldn't get that. We would get the Zola voice. But there's nothing that says that those guys, don't break out.
Yeah.
The other thing.
What was the best? What was your favorite part of this finale?
That's a good question. I think the most amusing thing to me was when Zombie Wanda showed up.
Yeah, that was Watchers are like, okay, take this, bitch.
Yeah, when they were
where she throws they throw the zombies at him. No, Strange does that. He opens a portal and all the zombies, the mountain of zombies, and exit out.
And he's like, did you really think that was going to stop me? He's like, actually, I was kind of waiting for that one.
Yeah, and
Wanda's out there, I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. I think, you know what, that was probably that was my only disappointment, was I was kind of hoping we'd get Spider-Man from that.
Yeah, he was only in that one with the zombies, was he?
Right, and I thought, since he's the one who survived with Ant-Man's head.
And Mark Ruffalo, didn't Bruce Banner?
Oh, maybe he did too. But the point being is, I was kind of surprised that we didn't get one of those characters. But
yeah, I liked my favorite part was at the end where the Watcher takes Black Widow from where the world where she lost Hawkeye and inserts her into the universe where they lost their Widow. It was the one where Hank Pym kills the Avengers, and she puts her aside fighting everyone else there with Loki's gang. I thought that was cool. I like that little tie-in. That was good.
Is that what the world was that he put her in? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, because that was the one right where Hank Pym kills the Avengers, and then right at the end, that's when Loki shows up, and Fury uses the pager and calls Captain Marvel. That was that episode. So that's where how that episode tied in, is that the Watcher took Widow out of that universe and put her in that one.
Okay, I missed that one, but and that the only other thing is that's interesting about making all this stuff canon is, and having a multiverse is, this can deal with, and the funny part is this can deal with two things. One, if Robert Downey Jr. wanted to come back, or Chris Evans wants to come back, this is an easy fix. Which is, okay, they come from another multiverse. The other thing is if you really want Tony Stark and Steve Rogers back, I'm sure there's a multiverse world where they don't look like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. And you could do that. And you can magically pull them out and do that. Again, that's kind of in some ways part of the beauty of the multiverse. But we'll see. We'll see if they think that far through. I mean, maybe it's the teen version of Iron Man. Who knows? There's a lot of directions it could go. But yeah, I mean, I think What If was, in the end, it was needed. It was what it was. It was for what it was. It was solid. Bring on Hawkeye, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the next one, right? Christmas is Hawkeye, and
that's a long in between time, ain't it, for them?
Oh, just 2 months.
Yeah, but usually they've had stuff within a month.
Yeah, they had Loki, and then What If started right after Loki.
Right. Well, and even
there's only a month, and there was a month gap between Loki and Falcon Winter Soldier.
Right, and really only a couple weeks between WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that was in there too. Yeah. Right.
So really, this is the first break that they've given us on any of this.
Yeah. Well, so they'll amp it up when it's time to renew, which is coming up soon. I think it's early November is when my $70 is due.
Yeah, mine's a little bit later because I did mine in December.
Right. Yeah, they've started filming season 3 of The Mandalorian. So that's coming next year.
They haven't started that yet.
They started filming.
Oh, God.
So we're getting Book of Boba Fett next year. No, that's late December is when the Book of Boba Fett
oh, that's right.
drops.
That is the end of this year.
Yeah. That right. Okay. It's between Christmas and New Year's. I forget the exact day, but that's coming end of the year.
I've talked about this before, right? Where I'm excited about the Book of Boba Fett. I'm also terrified. And I'm terrified because, as you're aware, Mike, I play a Star Wars role-playing game, and at the moment with where my character is, we're right at that point where we might be finally getting rid of Jabba the Hutt, and my characters are. We're going to write it the way it's going to possibly go down. I'm going to be that character is going to be an instrumental part of it, and I was like, well, that's that. I'm done with that. Well, not if Boba Fett goes and takes over for Jabba. I'm not.
Yeah, Boba Fett. He seems like he's going to be the new boss in town.
Right. Well,
that's how they left off season 2 of The Mandalorian. So.
Right. Exactly. Well, and that's the part where I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, wait. That's not good for me. That's not good. That's worse than Jabba. I don't want to have to deal with Boba Fett.
Maybe he'll rule with a benevolent.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's so funny. I said that to a couple people I play RPGs with. With that, and they're like, they were like, yeah, you really were in the clear, and then they fucked that, didn't they? I'm like, kinda. Kinda. I'm probably up the shitter to even worse than I was before, because, well, we'll see.
Let's see. Shatner's going to space later in the week. They were supposed to be Tuesday, but they rescheduled for Wednesday because of the weather.
He knows that there's no green women in space, right?
I presume somebody told him by now that he's not going to score any alien babes up there.
Is he bringing the bongos with him?
Yeah, I might do some freeform, artsy fartsy poetic singing.
Yeah, 90 years old, Mr. Spock, and he's going up in
He's Captain Kirk! Captain fucking Kirk!
That was
Mr. Spock.
That's awesome. Now you need to hear that. That was the best. That wouldn't happen in Star Wars. Ivan would have gotten it right.
Okay.
Tell you all you need to know.
You cannot see how red my face is right now, Ivan.
Yes, I can. My hands are burning.
William Shatner as Mr. Spock.
Yep.
I'm about to break my pen.
It's logical.
Oh, brother. Sorry. Oh, my God. All right.
Oh,
so,
man.
yes. But he's a 90-year-old man going up into space. You know, William Shatner. Okay. Sorry, my head being foggy as it is. Yeah.
You're self-medicating?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, the only thing I'm self-medicating is a whole lot of Dayquil, NyQuil. Let me see.
All kinds of quills. He's got a whole quiver full of quills.
I got a bunch of quills, besides no spray, aspirin, fucking, I've been using my asthma pump like crazy today. So it's like, I'm going through a bad time. But as far as William Shatner, wonderful. Mr. Shatner, Captain Kirk making his way up to the space. And, if you had to do it one time, why not, right?
Once before she blows.
What?
Nothing.
Oh,
God.
Well, I think, I'm off on Wednesday, so I might be able to watch the launch live.
Yeah, you get to watch the bezel. You get to watch the bezel penis go into the air.
Somebody said
the blue.
Somebody said we should all everybody when he shows back up on the ground should be wearing Planet of the Apes masks.
Yeah, or have the guy in the Gorn costume greet him when he lands.
The guy in the corn costume?
The Gorn. He's a green lizard guy. You wouldn't know him. He's not Mr. Spock.
Oh, I thought you said corn.
No.
Corn costume.
Yeah, they're going to have corn.
The band Corn will be there. It's like that. You ever see that South Park episode with the band Corn?
Yes, I saw that one.
Niblet. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's one of my favorite South Park episodes. But now, it's Gorn. It's the green lizard guy. You see Captain Kirk
green
wrestling
lizard guy.
on the desert planet.
Where they do the music.
Was not Spock.
Or whatever the hell they do. That
yeah.
Weird music.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Godspeed, Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Yes, Captain Kirk.
Make it so, Mr. Sulu.
What factor died? Mr. Bezos.
Yeah.
Spock. Captain, the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And as Mr. Bezos looks up with his tired eyes and say, shut the fuck up.
The music part is it's not Bezos. So.
Yeah, Jeff won't be on the rocket with William.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff won't be on the rocket with him this time.
No.
So
that's when Rocket go.
God
forbid we lose our one of our most famous Canadians, William Shatner.
Yeah, that would not be a good thing. I mean, we want him to go up and come down.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he'll come down.
Yeah, in one piece, of course. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
What other news we got?
Let's see. Apparently, there's going to be a spinoff of that 70s show called That 90s Show, ordered by Netflix. So far, the only people involved are the parents. So more Red putting his foot up people's asses.
That's right.
Why?
Because there's a lot of networks and a lot of streamers, and they need content.
Okay, well, yeah,
that's why. There's your answer, dude.
Well, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of streamers out there, a lot of broadcasters, and of course, as always, 300 channels and nothing on, you know, and it just becomes more maze of all different types of fodder to try to fill time in chat.
They gotta try something. They can't have nothing. They can't just rely on vintage shows for programming.
Oh, no, of course not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, we got that 70s show, and let's go ahead and let's make that 90s show. I mean, we had that 80s show. That was called The Goldbergs. Let's see. Okay. Again, you know, like I said, with the exception of Wonder Years, which I thought was great, and everything else, I don't know. I starve for something new.
Well, and yet the irony is you don't starve for something new because you're watching Boomer Vision.
Well, even on Boomer Vision, I find things I've never seen before. You know, so it's not exactly a total loss with Boomer Vision. And the thing with Boomer Vision is not only do I got the regular Boomer channels, I have a whole lot of other channels, like, you know, local channels and, you know, other types
like
of...
Like the channel with Bumblebee Man.
Bumblebee Man?
Yeah.
That's also like that Mexican variety show where the guy dressed up as the Bumblebee, like from Simpsons.
Right, the guy from The Simpsons. That's what I'm talking about. Bumblebee.
Oh, okay. God, I haven't thought about him in forever, man. Bumblebee.
Oh, caramba.
You know, it reminds me of the cartoon Mucha Lucha. Have you ever guys used to see that at all?
Oh God,
maybe.
That was.
I can't remember.
Yeah, Mucha Lucha was an animated cartoon. I think it was on for like 2 seasons, and it basically had kids dressed up as
Mexican wrestlers. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I vaguely remember that show.
Yeah, Mucha Lucha, which some of the episodes were really quite funny. Okay. You know, so. But, Bumblebee Man, no. I remember the Tick. I mean, Tick is great, you know, and all that. But, yeah,
the
Bumblebee
Tick is not
Man,
on Boomer Vision, though, right?
No.
But the Tick is not on Boomer Vision, though.
No.
But I did discover on Sunday night I can actually sit back from 7 to 10 and watch MeTV Plus uninterrupted with nothing but glorious, glorious old cartoons without having to deal with stupid Toonie and dumb Bill, you know. So, you know, that to me is great. When you get 3 hours on a Sunday night with classic cartoons with Tex Avery and Walter Lantz and Harmon Ising and all the rest of those guys, man, that's cherry on the cake of my day. But no, but I do look for something new in new television too. I just haven't found anything in new television to latch onto to really keep my interest.
Well, I've given you multiple things. It's just a matter of of what you're looking for, what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know you've given me plenty. Both of you give me plenty of suggestions. It's just me getting off my lazy ass, getting over to the changer, and actually just watching. You know, so
yeah. You have to get up and use the channel changer, Ivan. I thought, don't you have a remote?
I got to get up, go to the table, get the channel changer, sit down, and then
you don't have a remote?
You know. Yes, I have a remote. I think channel changer remote.
He has to get into the Fox viewing position.
Well, no. I mean, I do got a remote. Well, see, the reason why I got
stand by to get into the Boomer Vision viewing positions.
Everybody assume crash positions.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. The reason why I came up with the reason why I came up with that was because my mom, who worked for Zenith, used to make a channel changer called Channel Command, which was called a channel changer. Channel Command channel changer. Oh. And it had 3 buttons of which it just turned everything on the dials from where you sat. We always got we always got all the bells and whistles when my mom worked at Zenith. I mean, we had the first color TV, we had first stereo, we had the first Space Command channel changer. That's what it was called, and and all that type of stuff. I wrote that in a post on Facebook about Zenith products, because it says, does anybody remember Zenith? Quality goes in before the name goes on. I told them about the story of my mom who worked there. Great story. Okay, I'm going off path here, but anyway, channel changer. Yeah, that's the origin of my wording for remote as channel changer.
Do you have a DVR or VCR or none of the above?
I have both.
Okay, so you could DVR.
You can record content.
Yeah.
Yes, I do got I'm sorry, do you say DVR? No, I don't got a DVR. I do got a DVD, and I do got a video. I do got a VHS, an older VHS. No, I don't got DVR. So, again, like I said, I don't have those luxuries right now. When I get to my new place, I will. But, right now, with the way, I'm sandwiched in between the 2 floors and
you really have a Betamax.
What now?
You really have a Betamax.
I don't have a Betamax.
You don't have a Betamax player?
No.
My Uncle George, I think my Uncle George might still have his.
Laserdisc.
Oh, God. A guy at the flea market was selling laser discs. Like, I'm dodged a bullet there. I almost bought a laser disc player in 1992.
Yeah, we were selling them at the old store. We were giving them away.
Yeah. So anyway, we got any other news?
Yeah, so let's see what else we got. So apparently they're doing a spinoff with Agatha Harkness.
Yeah, from WandaVision.
They're doing a spinoff with her, or supposedly.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got. I put on this first page, there's an 833 number that you call up and you can listen to the Peacemaker.
Like actual John Cena voice?
Yeah.
Huh. Have you called it?
Yeah. It was alright. It wasn't great.
It was alright.
Because they basically did the same thing as the preview thing that they put out there about him. If you hadn't seen the teaser trailer that they put out. Let's see, what else? Apparently, John Kent, the son of Clark and Lois, apparently is in a issue of Superman, son of Kal-El, is going to be coming out as bisexual.
Okay.
So, in fairness, I know the writer who's working on this. Not well, but I know of him, and he's a pretty good writer. I'm willing to kind of see where this all goes and see how this works. And in fairness, this is kind of like a character that's been around forever. This is a character that has only been around since 2015. So, all right.
Much like Batwoman, who hasn't been around. Was it 2007? I think when Batwoman came around.
Is it 2007? No, it's further back than that, isn't
maybe
it?
Maybe 90s? In the 90s?
No, it's the 2000s.
Yeah.
I think it's 2004. Well, okay. Maybe it's 2007. Maybe it's 2007. But the point being...
2006.
Whoa, Ivan, look at you.
Uh-oh.
Good job. Ivan's Google foo is strong today.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
We're all now in trouble now. Yeah, so there's that. And then, so Expanse Season 6 on Amazon Prime is coming out in December, and there was a trailer that was done out in New York. Now, it's funny. The New York Comic Convention was over the weekend.
Yeah, New York Comic Con was last weekend. We didn't get any huge dumps of reviews or reveals.
Right, I didn't see much of anything out there. The only thing I saw was the fact that they had a teaser trailer for the new season of The Expanse that's coming out in December. Other than that, I didn't see a lot or hear a lot on that at all. So it was kind of, not to say that I'm sure it wasn't a good convention.
You know anybody who went?
I'm aware of people who went. I don't know anybody immediately. John Suntress, who normally would go to something like that, did not. I'm sorry, that was the other thing I did this weekend. I went to Village Inn and watched the fight. The Wilder Fury fight, and wow, that thing was pretty. That was one of the better boxing fights I've seen in a long time. And my understanding is there was at least one thing I heard about where there was a vendor at New York that got booted out because he would not wear a mask. So.
Okay.
But again, I wasn't paying attention for New York Comic Con news, but at the same time, it's not like I saw a lot out there about things from there. So, yeah, acquire the normal Comic Con for New York, I guess. Didn't seem like there was it was very newsworthy.
Okay, yeah, that's how I feel about what happened at. I didn't get any vibes or any big news drops or reveals that we normally get from these Comic-Cons. And are they still planning on San Diego in December?
I don't know. Well, I know actually this month.
Or is it November?
Well, no. You know what's interesting? Later this month, at some point, is Wizard World here in town, out at Rosemont. Is still happening, and then I know C2E2 is happening in December. I may go. We'll see. When I say I may go, I want to clarify that I'm not actually probably going to go to the actual convention. What I might do is I have some hotel points that I need to, some hotel rooms that I'm technically thinking about using, and staying at the hotel, and then basically going down at night to go hang out and party.
Okay, just to hang out. You're going to actually pay admission and go in.
Right, because I've joked sometimes with John Suntress where it's like, sometimes I just like to come down and hang out, and it's like, but then I gotta drive home. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I could get a hotel room and hang out and just go back upstairs and go to sleep.
There you go.
And I'm like, hey, that's an idea.
Assuming the hotel isn't booked.
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was a Google.
We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not heard much on C2E2 much this year either. But you know what? It's a good question. I'm not sure about San Diego.
Seems like there's a lot of conventions this year that didn't really hit hard on advertising or putting itself out there. And then you notice also too that there are not much in the way of reports or anything like that.
There's a reason for that.
Well, we're more than 2 weeks out from Gen Con, and we didn't get a massive outbreak, which is good.
I feel like that's the real answer to the question. I feel like the real answer to the question is there is a populace whose objective is to kind of make sure that they get that nothing comes out about the con so that they can have cons and nothing, and as a result, then that way there isn't a problem. You know, I feel like there's a lot of mentality of circle the wagons, don't say, you know, don't ask, don't tell kind of mentality in the and I know and not just in the comic book conventions, but the gaming conventions too, because I noticed it there too. Well, of people who were there who were just like, stop putting us in the middle. Stop putting us in the middle of your politics. We're just here to game, and we just want to do what we want to do, and we're here to make our money and do what we want to do. And I'm like, you put yourself in the middle of the politics. You put yourself out there, and some of them are people who regularly, ironically, act like keyboard warriors on both sides. And I laugh because it's like now all of a sudden you don't want to be in the middle of it. But you're in the middle of it every day when I watch you on Facebook. So
yeah, the thing about it is that I guess the mentality is if we don't go ahead and put it all out there on the media and everything like that, they'll leave us alone.
Well, it's been over a year and a half, and a lot of these people, they want to get back to normal. They want to go see their friends at the conventions, and they want to go sell their wares and make a profit. But we're still in the thick of this.
Yeah, we are, and I think the reason why a lot of people aren't talking about it is because they don't want to lose any of that. They don't want to lose any more traction that's already been lost over the last year and a half.
God, I can't believe we was thinking about how we were at this through the beginning. Remember, like on News of the Squared, we were making jokes about this shit back in January last year. Crazy shit. So it's been a couple of crazy years. So
yeah,
yep.
But
the conventions are hopefully gonna, maybe next year.
Well,
by the way, I didn't see numbers on Bond. Did you?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen any write-ups actually either.
I heard certain people were talking about it was good. I don't know if it was.
Which was your favorite of the Daniel Craig James Bond?
Oh, here's interesting. Well, hold on a second. Give me 1 second. I'm looking at something. No time to. Let's see if we can find out if I can find out really fast. Of the ones that are Daniel Craig, I guess Skyfall.
I liked Casino Royale. With Skyfall as a close second. I did not watch Quantum of Solace. I heard it was not good. But I do want to see this one, No Time to Die. I do want to see it. I was, like I said last week, I was tempted. I might have stepped over to the theater here in town to see it.
Ah, there you go.
Okay, so according to this, over the weekend, they did about $56 million over the weekend.
Is that worldwide or just the U.S.?
The U.S.
Okay.
North America.
Not bad.
Not bad.
For Bond? I mean, let me ask you a question. Would you have ever imagined that Shang-Chi would do better than a James Bond movie?
You would thought.
Yeah. Well, maybe just
because honestly, that's where I would put them.
Well, this is like early October, so it's like
right.
You set them, not the usual time of year for a tentpole like this.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but it wasn't exactly like Shang-Chi only just came out a couple weeks ago.
That was was it September or October?
No.
It was
only September when Shang-Chi came out in September.
Oh, was it September? Okay.
Yeah, and it was only here for a week when it was here.
At your theater, yeah.
No, maybe yours.
It's been at mine for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, a lot of the theaters out this way, they're...
My local outdoor was... I drove past our local outdoor. I went to go see my buddy Ray for his birthday after work. And I drove past our local outdoor theater, and they were playing The Omen and The Exorcist.
That makes sense.
They're just doing,
they're doing the Halloween month.
Classic horror films, for
that's
Halloween.
Cool.
I don't know how much longer they're going to be open.
They were doing classic horror films. Shouldn't it have been Debbie Does Dallas and the Green Door? Or The Happy Hooker?
I think that falls in a different genre.
Oh.
Yeah, it sure does. Debbie does
horror films, not...
Oh, horror.
Horror.
Not horror films. Horror films.
Right.
Got it. My bad.
All right, so New York Comic Con came and went, and nobody cared, apparently, mostly.
Well, it's not so much that nobody cared, it's just I don't think that there was anything really huge.
There was no earth-shattering news, what these Comic Cons have been known to attract, and
that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Well, I think they're just keeping it low-key because they just don't want to draw
And they didn't want to get any big panels like the sold out stadium or whatever, sold out ballrooms with the big name actors.
Very well be too.
I think that, in fairness, I think they had them. I
think they had the cast of The Boys there. I think.
Did they?
The Boys?
Yeah, the Amazon show. Based on the comic.
That would make sense because it seems like Amazon did a little bit of a splash there. I think the bigger thing is I think that there's still a lot of people who are like, yeah, if I don't have to travel to one of these conventions right now, I don't want to do it.
That could be part of it too, yeah.
And in fairness with New York, the one thing I could say about New York is New York can be a real, and I've heard this from people who've gone, is like the convention, like they do events that are not in the convention hall. And when I say not in the convention hall, like you got to walk all the way down to Madison Square Garden, which is like a good 2-3 block walk away. You know, or longer than that. Like they do events that are not anywhere nearby.
Not all self-contained, right?
Where, San Diego does that too.
Yeah.
But San Diego, you don't have a choice. You've got so many people, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's because, and by the way, that's the one thing about the big convention that's frustrating is like Gen Con. I can say this about Gen Con. Like Gen Con at this point, a lot of Gen Con doesn't happen in the convention center anymore. A lot of the games happen in the hotels. So I always kind of laugh in some ways because it's like...
The hotel ballrooms, not the actual hotel rooms.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, like they have, or rooms that they set aside or stuff like that.
They got the bridal rooms and the ballrooms. They got the little auditoriums in there. Yeah.
Right, or different convention space. But the point being is, once upon a time when I used to go to Gen Con as a kid, in my 20s, everything was self-contained. It was all in one building. It was
all in that one building.
It was in that one building,
yep.
And you could
by the Bradley Center. Yeah, I missed going I missed that show.
I mean, it's because it's gotten too big now.
Well, I mean, in fairness, part of it is it's gotten big. Part of it is, some of this is, and again, I can't fault. I can only speak to Gen Con. I can't speak to a lot of the others. And I can't fault Gen Con for this because if somebody said this to me, I'd go the same direction, which is, something that I noticed in the 2000s when I was there, which was, some of these companies are like, hey, we want to have gaming areas nearby where our booth is. And we don't want to share with anybody. So, like, for example, WizKids would buy up an entire ballroom in the convention center that was theirs to use exclusively, even though they probably didn't use it 98% of the time of the convention because they only used it for their events. And otherwise, it went empty.
Yeah.
And so the thing about, and I get it, which is they paid a lot of money for it, and they were willing to pay for it. That's fair.
They wanted to stage their own little party, their own little event.
Right. They wanted, well, it's not so much that, but they had their own events and they wanted them nearby and they wanted them in the building and they didn't want to have to worry about, anybody else going in there or anything like that. Okay, fine, I get it. And here's the problem with that. It's one company. Well, what happens when multiple companies that want to do that? Now suddenly you're buying up convention space in the convention hall, and the good news is, and in fairness to Gen Con, the positive is, well, okay, in that case we're going to charge you this money. Great, well, we're willing to pay it. So these companies are willing to pay it, which for them is good. And I can't fault them for that. But it means that the other games get moved out of the convention center. And they get moved to other places. And the other thing is, about that is, the rooms that they get at the hotels don't cost them anything versus convention space costs them more. If you understand what I mean. because with the amount of hotel rooms that they bring in, they're getting a whole shitload of comp space for the convention for event rooms.
When they take a ballroom for the weekend, they get a certain number of rooms.
Right. Well, and keep in mind, when you've got 60,000 people, you pretty much get whatever you want from all these different hotels and venues whenever you want them. So, if I'm getting all those for free.
Yeah, and the vendor hall will be there to sell your stuff, but you want to have an exclusive area for your big event.
Right, and we're gonna, they want to pay money and pay a premium. Fine, that's great. The problem is, like I said, once upon a time, I used to be able to go to the Gen Con Game Fair, and I could plan out my morning from 8 a.m. to whenever it closed at night, and it would only take me 15 minutes to get from one part of the building to another, and I could play all day, and it didn't matter what the events were. Now, with the way
Indianapolis,
in Indianapolis, you need to look at you need to look at the schedule, and you need to sit down and figure out where you're playing.
Right, you need to manage the time because with the walk between buildings, and if one is too far.
Right, or it's, hey, guess what? I'm playing in this building today. This is the building I'm playing in today, and okay, these are the events I'm playing. Or I need to take off.
I need to leave at a certain time to get lunch and walk, 20 whatever minutes to get to this place.
Right, exactly. Well, or, like, for example, okay, do I lose an entire gaming slot that day? Now, I mean, in fairness, if you're playing board games, it's not nearly as much of a problematic for some of these other games. But if I'm a role player, am I giving up a 4-hour role-playing game slot so that I can get from one part of the convention to the other part? Because I'll give you a hint, it's not happening here, unless
it's less time gaming and more time walking because the place is so sprawled out. So that sucks.
Unless you're in phenomenal shape, so then it really becomes, okay, how good of a planner are you? How good are you at sitting down and figuring out where your games are versus where you're going to be and how to work all that out?
Yeah. Well,
that's
the current climate of that's what Gen Con's now is what has become today, because it is getting obviously too big now to go back to Milwaukee, too big to fit in one building. So that's what they're dealing with now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, yes, and again, I don't know. Again, like for example, my favorite is, and this didn't happen this year because they couldn't do it, but in previous years, they've used Lucas Oil to play games in. And that's got to be kind of cool, which is to be playing on the Lucas Oil field. The only thing that's amusing to me is, like I was talking to people, it's like I'm from Indy. I'm kind of confused because I'm like, that's not close to the hotels. And
you got to either get an Uber or maybe I don't know if they have a shuttle service or something.
Oh no, these people are walking, but it's like crazy. It's like, I don't think there's sidewalks over there. Or it's like, oh, there's an underground. I'm like, that's a far underground walk.
Then you spend your one day in that building, and then you go back to the hotel that day. Oh, Jeff, you've been muted.
That's fine.
Oh, there you go.
Seems like there's just a lot of meandering around just to get to all the events because everything is so spread out.
Well, I mean, that's why you got to plan your day for an event this big. You're going to spend your one day doing your shopping, another day you've got planned events. You can't just you've got some commuting to do.
No, that's true. I mean, but you think that conventions, with usually 2 and 3 day schedules and everything, would give you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Gen Con was 4 days like it usually was, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay.
Again, I mean, the thing is with Gen Con and the only reason, again, to me, what's interesting is how many people have been cool with what it's turned into and how many people are willing to accept what it is. I mean, I'm always amazed because it's like I hear people talk about taking time to like go see things in the city and taking some time here and there. I'm like, I'm paying money to game. I'm here to play games.
Yeah, and you're here to see your friends that you only see like once, maybe twice a year because you live on the other side of the country. This day, everyone comes to Mecca.
Right. I mean, if I'm going to go to a convention, I'm going to the convention.
Well, some people turn it into a family vacation. Well, they're there all week. Well, they'll spend Tuesday and Wednesday seeing the sights, and then Thursday through Saturday.
Well, which I would think that'd be ideal. I mean, if you're going to do that.
That makes more sense. But there are people who literally talk about, like, oh, I take 4 hours off in the middle of the convention. I'm like, why? Are you crazy?
I mean, people want to spend their time to whatever they weigh. It's their choice.
I guess. Again, it's one of those.
It seems like you paid admission to go to the convention, but then you spend half a day not being there.
Well,
that's their choice.
It's been made. It's been made for people who love. You know what it's been made for? It's for the people who like to meticulous, and it's perfect for most gamers, because this is how most of them are, which is, I can download my schedule, and I can customize, and I can figure it out, and I'll do all the math, and I'll know exactly what buildings go where, and they have it all planned out ridiculously to like the minute about where they're going to go and what their schedule is and how they're going to go.
Good on them.
Itinerary.
Good for them.
Right. And but the point being is, it's great for gamers who are like that. If you're not a gamer like that, who's like me, where it's like, I just want to go have fun, and if I feel like, oh, that sounds like an interesting game, let me see if I can
but it eliminates,
check it out.
It eliminates having to be impulsive and looking at the menu and saying, oh, I want to go there. Oh, that's that far away. Oh, crap.
Well, and
also too, don't you think that the whole thing about just the surprise of it, wow, there's just so much here. I just like to check this and check that, without having to know beforehand what's there. Just the thrill of just being in the
Well, it's funny you say that, because the answer to that is the exhibit hall, in which you could, if in fairness for some people, they can live in the exhibit hall for the day, because there are tons of demo games going on. And you could be playing in the exhibit hall all day and never go to a ticketed event game. I just have never been one of the people who does that. That's just never been something I've been looking for.
No, but you're adventurous. You're an adventurous sort, so you just like to see what all is out there, what all your options are. So.
Well, I mean,
I would do the same thing. If I'm gonna go someplace to adventure or something, I want to see all the bells and whistles and everything, as much of it as I can within the framework of the time I got to do it in.
Yeah, I think, and the interesting part to that too, Ivan, is, and Michael can talk. Mike remembers probably this, which is, Gen Con, it used to be okay. You bought a bunch of generic tickets to hang on to because you never knew when you were going to find a game that you might find someplace, and it's like, oh, I got generic tickets, boom, let's go. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep.
Gen Con now.
It's for I think it's for fans of Lord of the Rings, because all you do is walk like the hobbits.
Well, it's not even that. Gen Con now, they're not as thrilled about the generic ticket. And I'm curious if they even still do generic tickets.
Well, I mean, it's still all about all things to all nerds. I mean, it's not just games. It's media. It's anime. It's collectibles.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the whole cosplay thing. It's the whole
part of that too.
But the point being is that I was getting to is they really do kind of push towards the meticulous planning.
Not just general admission, just walk-ins.
They don't want you to buy generic tickets, and the reason they don't really necessarily want you to buy generic tickets is because then they know where you are and what you're playing. And when I say that, they claim it's for emergency reasons. I claim bullshit. It's not for emergency reasons. You want demographics.
Well, of course, you want research.
You want your demographics and research to tell you who's playing what games and what age groups they are and what types of people they are and what kind of people are playing what, so that you know
how many people are playing that game
and what. And then to top it off, you want to sell that information you want to sell that information to the game companies.
Well, of course.
And that's what that's all about. And to me, I just sit there and I'm like, okay.
There's always an angle, man.
Well, it's funny because once upon a time there were less angles on it, and now it's.
Well, it's because now we live in a world where it's about research and it's all about demographics and it's all about categorizing and it's all about
quantifying.
What does the 20-year-old nerd in Connecticut like to play at 4:00 in the morning? It's like.
Well, yeah, because they want to sell the 20-year-old nerd who has a disposable income. Who
that's a point,
Right.
Yeah, and being a music nerd and everything. Yeah, if I got a tip, for something, I'm going, on that. Particular.
Yeah. Anything else on Gen Con you want to touch upon, Jeff? Or
there was something I was going to mention about that. I mean, like I said, I think the only thing that really is kind of amazing to me, and it's something I've noticed as a trend as the years have gone on, is just what you guys are talking about. The way, like I talk about it in a certain way, and the fans of the convention just don't look at it that way. Like literally, like. One of the things like I kind of laugh about is in the convention center itself, unless something's really, really changed, like finding actual food in the convention center is not like what it used to be. And it's not like they have roving carts that go around in the convention center. They don't. So I kind of laugh because it's like.
So it's almost like you have to be in the know of it just to navigate it.
I presume they'd be trucks like, parked outside at certain times of the day.
So it's interesting. The first year of Gen Con, it was funny because there was all kinds of talk that they were going to do certain things and they were going to have things and they were going to have little carts for that were going to go around because they were aware of the fact about, I mean, seriously, to get out of what used to be the old convention center where the dome used to be, okay, I mean, we figured it out. I mean, depending on where you were in the convention center building, you could be a mile away from just getting to a door. Like, just getting to a door to exit the building. We're not talking about food. Just exiting the building. It could take you a mile to get out. Or a couple of blocks to get out. And then you gotta find food. And depending on the time of day, God bless Indianapolis, they still, even to this day, the week of Gen Con, even to this day, you guys could probably stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning and make a lot of money. No, we're going to close. We're going to close at normal time. We don't care. Okay. But God bless the gamers. I mean, I swear to God, man, I don't know how some of them do it, where it's like they look like, the best way I can put it is it looks like they came over on a steamer trunk to America. That's the best way I can put it. It's like they got every game they own. I mean, they got like a cooler. I mean, they got like more luggage than you know what to do with between the cooler and like the stacks of stuff so that they have all their books and everything that they brought with them. It's crazy. It's like, really?
Yeah, bring a wagon like you're going to Ravinia with your cooler.
Well, no, seriously. They'll walk around with like a wagon and like it's stacked up where like one thing's like a thing with food and it's for this game and here's my minis and here's this game and here's my stuff for that game, and they'll have like those multiple compartments where the damn thing is like almost like the damn thing, because of the way it stacks, is almost as tall as they are, and they're lugging it around all day.
Well, I mean, if it saves them time between this, that, and every other thing, maybe that's part of that purpose. But
I guess it's just.
I would think that would be just a lot of work just to try to go ahead and lug around, 30, 40, 50 pounds of shit,
Well, that was my reaction, Ivan. That's
convention center, I'm getting too tired to play because I had to pull the damn wagon.
You constantly got to keep an eye on it so it doesn't get lifted. If you're
traveling back and forth.
It's not so much that. It's so big, how is it going to get lifted? I mean, that's not the problem. I hate to say it. It's like, the bigger thing I kind of laugh about with it is it's like Ivan just said, it's like, depending on how far you got to walk someplace, okay, that's a fucking heavy ass shit. And you're like,
that's why it's on wheels.
Well, okay, even if it's on wheels, it's not exactly light.
Mm.
You know,
so
again, that's me.
Yeah, that's what we've witnessed at these shows now, the gaming shows.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that's sometimes why I like the smaller ones.
Yeah. We got any other news or?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I want to go watch the Colts. Apparently, they're winning today.
Yay! Cool.
Life is good.
Hey Siri, what's the score of the Colts game?
I can tell you that.
The Colts are on top of the Ravens, 25-17, with 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
Okay, looks like you're in the clear.
Who's got the ball? Who's got the ball? Uh-oh. Wait, do the Ravens have the ball?
Who's got the ball?
On the 5? That's not good. Well, it's good that I finally get to watch the rest of the game, but that's not good. All right, Mike, where can I find us so we can get on and watch the end of the game?
All right, we're out of here. Ivan, he's on Twitch at Java and Ivan. Jeff is everywhere. It's Dynamite Productions. I'm sorry, Ivan? Yeah. Ivan has another call. And, of course, email us at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com. Download the show on usual podcast hosting platforms. iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor.fm/SOTRT for the people who you type in the URLs. So you still got those. Follow us on Facebook for the memes and stories and stuff. And we're on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. And, of course, thank you for everyone who's joined in, listening in to us live on Clubhouse. We appreciate it very much. So, yeah, with that, I guess we're done. Episode 168.
Sounds like a plan. Have a great week, everybody.
Godspeed. Blame Shatner. Good night, y'all.